Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat and fish. Fish and goat. Goat versus fish and goat. Follow goat versus fish. Welcome to another mighty versus. Goat versus fish. Salute, goat versus fish. Salutation to you, salutation to you. Enyo, shattering R, celebration. Welcome to goat versus fish. Derelictica goat. Celebration for goat. Here we are. Pre-WillyTown Festiverses. The WillyTown Festiverses is soon. The WillyTown Festiverses is soon in Troy, Ohio, September 9th through 12th. And here's goat versus fish. Here, bringing you behind the Willy verses. Glowstick Willy, WillyTown Fest, goat versus fish, master of celebrations. Derelictica celebration for goat versus fish. Thank you for the celebration. Prue Lawrence celebration to Prue Lawrence celebration. Derelictica goat, Prue Lawrence, typically goat, but after consuming the weed of the sea, you never know. Prue Lawrence, are you goat or fish? Shattering R, are you goat or fish? Shattering, are you goat or fish? J. Percival, fish, celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. Ghost versus fish. Only on All Hallows Fence, only on All Hallows Fence. Is it ghost versus flesh? Ooh, ephemeral goat versus zombie fish. Shattering R is fish, celebration for fish, celebration for fish. Prue Lawrence is high on the weed of the sea. Well, that did not take long, Prue Lawrence. Welcome to Goat versus Fish. We hope you enjoy Goat versus Fish. High on the weed of the sea celebration. Brando Calrissian 20 celebration for fish. Prue Lawrence fish celebration for fish. And we have, ooh, what's this? We can barely perceive it. I need morphine fence. We need morphine fence. Statistician. Misled Buddha goat live celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for Misled Buddha the goat. Celebration for goat. Infinity Skyline. Infinite Skyline 86 celebration. Tugger-rugger goat. Tugger-rugger goat celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration, my good sir. Just goat versus fish. Just goat versus fish. Just goat versus fish. Misled Buddha celebration. Tugger-rugger celebration. Tugger-rugger celebration. Well, let's have a look at what can be seen at this versus. Enyo. Goat, 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 goat. Manic Luke. Fancy fence-sitters can enjoy nothing but shame, dishonor for fancy people. Well, some fence-sitters seem to enjoy sitting on the fence. At least they claim to. Weather looks nice. Oh, it is a beautiful verse. Look at this beautiful verses. Look at the beautiful verses. You've just seen up close goat versus fish. Just wait until we do the big reveal. The big reveal of everything that is goat versus fish. Random person 3000. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Fence. Infinite Skyline. I like you doing outlines, outdoor streams. Don't we all? Don't we all? Derelictica goats are herd animals which become depressed if kept without any goat companions. Goat, please, you need to companion your fellow goat. That is why we put these two goats together. To goat together. Celebration for goat. Goat and fish versus fence. False versus. Goat versus fish. It is goat versus fish. It is goat versus fish. Manic Luke. Are you goat or fish? Manic Luke. Are you goat or fish? Where in the verses is this? Says Twitch being fancy. What is this? We can barely perceive it. We can barely perceive it. We can barely perceive it. What's the verses? Perhaps if we do this, perhaps if we... We cannot perceive the one who says, where in the verses is this? We are in Troy, Ohio. We are in Troy, Ohio. We are in a place called Eagles Campground. But never mind that fence. Never mind that eagleness. It's goat and fish. It's just goat and fish. It's goat versus fish. Thanks for streaming and being awesome. Thank you for being awesome and random. 3,000. It's my yellow name. We can't perceive it. We can't perceive it. Tal versus goat versus fish. Such a nice area. This is Stick Willy Glow Stage. Welcome to Stick Willy Glow Stage. Goat versus Fish brings the verses to you. Let's go to Troy, Ohio, and look at the pre-verses of Glow Stick Willy. Look at the pre-verses of Glow Stick Willy as they setting up for WillyTown Fest 2021 million. WillyTown Fest 7. With Master of Celebrations, Goat versus Fish. As you can see, the goat and fish are hard at verses, setting up this amazing fence. The fence has finally arrived here. Remember, goat versus fish was stranded with this fence, but they're opening up the fence, they're setting up the fence, and we think it will be a versus soon enough. Oolong, fish, celebration for fish. We're still trying to perceive that verses. Just saying goat. Talib 01, Tabil 01, goat. Crescent Cardinal fish, celebration for fish. Manic Luke fish, random person, fence, lolling about the fence. Speaking of fence, look who it is. It's Shrimpy Mo. Alright, everybody, let's hurry up. I don't have time to sit around. Doing whatever it is that we're doing. We gotta get going. Oh wait, we have to wait for 6 hours. And wait for the fence. But after that, we gotta hurry. Check out my new Reds coin shirt. It's coming out of my ass. Thank you, Shrimpimo. Thank you. There will be plenty of verses for us to verses together. We are certain. Lemmy Winks with the fish. Impotent Skylime. That's a pretty swarthy shrimp. You said it. Wow, Mom. Salty creature. Hurry up, shrimp, hurry up. The verses is soon. Random person's 3,000 is lolling and making hearts to goat versus fish and all kinds of emotions. Tugger loves, it is true, Shrimpimo loves its red coin, it is true. Love this channel, thank you again. Always think goat versus fish. Hurry up, shrimp, hurry up. Wow, Mom, celebration, so shrimpy. Lemmy Winks with the fish. Oolong, I saw you come by my humble abode the other verses, so had to come and say hi to let the verses know that fish is where I stand. Celebration for Oolong the fish. Goat versus fish did go by Oolong the fish. You can shout out Oolong the fish. Pufronaught with the fish. So let's get ever closer now. Tugger with 100 bits. 100 bits for Tugger. Celebration for 100 bits. Let's get closer. Let's get ever closer to the ever-expanding verses of Glow Stick Willy stage. Stage verses. Setting up the verses. Soon there will be a massive celebration here. But it's the calm before the verse. Crescent Cardinal with the celebration, with the Scooties Puff Jr. celebration. Tugger celebration, stage verse, exit stage verse, enter stage fish. Enter stage fish, exit stage goat. Thank you for the 100 bits. All your bits are appreciation by goat versus fish. For every 100 bits you give to goat versus fish, we will give you a humble verses that goes like this. For every 100 bits, goat versus fish, we'll give you a verses of humiliation. Ah, goat. A verses of humiliation. Tugger 100 bits. Domo arigato. Gozaimasaru. Yagi tai sakana. 1M Lennial says, well, Mom, use your powers for evil, but there is no good or evil, only goat and fish. Goat versus fish yoga, says Tugger Rugger. Lemmy winks. More like humiliation. Enyo, goat versus fish. We are counting down the hours until the verses of hype bring serious psychedelic rock energy out to the field. The field of goat. Oh, yes, the field of goat. So many wooks will swoop down and choose goat or fish. Yes. Goat versus fish has heard of this one called a wook. Some wooks seem to be goat. Some wooks seem to be fish. Some of you say, we love wooks. Others of you say, beware the wooks. Please, definition. Tell us what kind of goat or fish is a wook. Describe wook in the chat. Tell us what is wook. Are you wook? Are you wook? Is wook goat or fish? Tell us what kind of goat or fish is wook. Describe wook in your own verses. Wooks are mostly goat. But definitely some wooks are fish, says Enyo. And I need morphine is goat. Lemmy Wing says, I'm a candy kid. Wow, Mom says, I know I only received this last stream, I believe. Yes, Wow Mom is our new modification. Wow Mom is the new modification. You know what to look out for, Wow Mom. You know what to look out for. You have been on Goat versus Fish for a long verses. Bust out the band stick and swing it. Tugger Rugger's like, please ban them all from Goat versus Fish. But we want more goat and fish. We want more goat and fish. Wow Mom celebration.
Can you hear me? Well, I gotta switch to my speaker.
Shrimpy Mo in its elementation. Shrimpy Mo conducting its shrimpy business. Shrimpy Mo conducting its shrimpy business. Look. It's a mountain of goat. It's a mountain of goat. It's Goat Mountain. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at this giant fence that is soon to be a versus. Stooley 3, I'm drinking a versus right now too. Celebration. Enjoy your verses. Tugger Rugger says, hey, that's my mountain of goat. Well then tap it away, tap away. Poggers go, typers clap. So let's look at the verses here. Let's look at the verses. Let's look at the verses. Weird fence. It is a very weird fence. They got lots done, says Tugger's Rugger. Tugger's Rugger, we suppose you could still come here and to help the verses. They are looking for volunteers. Glowstick Willy, WillyTown Fest, is looking for volunteers to help set up WillyTown Fest verses. Can't you see Goat versus Fish on the stage? Goat versus Fish on the stage.
We got one spongy spot over there.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at these fence posts.
It's right there. Yeah. It feels all right. Yeah, but you'll see underneath. We have one leg left. We might as well use it.
Look at it aimlessly jumping about. Leaping about. Leaping about. Oh, look at the verses. Who is this? Who do you call yourself?
I'm Judge Lysergic. Nice to meet you.
It's Judge Lysergic. Wow, it's Judge Lysergic, and it's
Goat.
It's Goat. It's Goat. Familiar Goat.
Hi, Fish.
Celebration for Lysergic Fish. You have seen them in chat. You have seen them in chat, and there they are. There's Lysergic Fish and Buddha the Goat. That's some very goaty moves. Maybe so. Maybe you can convince Shrimpy Mo to go goat. The judge. Hey guys, Tweety42. Tuggerugger says Mr. Goat. Puffernaut says wow at Wow Mom. Mom casts silence on Lemmywinks 312. Wow. GVF, be sure to stream when you stage dive off of the top of that. Okay, we will definitely stream that versus. Wow, Mom, timed out Lemmy Winks 312 for 60 seconds. Wow. Wow. Buffernot says they set this all up themselves? Yes. Yes. They are very crafty GoatVsFish, fish. Very crafty GoatVsFish. Fish. They set it all up. All by their own verses. All by their own verses. What a power, what a power. But it's not all verses here. There is, of course, all of this fence. Look at this fence. Look at this fenciness. Fenciness. The fence sitter is like, yes. The fence sitter is like, yes, I wish I were here always. The fence sitter is like, yes, I wish I were always here. Sitting on the side fence, sitting on the side fence.
Every time I say, we need to remember that, I come back and they're already like shit. Yeah. I can tell.
Tsunami Bit loves Lysergic. Tsunami Bit loves Lysergic. Celebration for the completion of the ritualization, says Tugger Rugger. You wish you had come, said Puffernaut. You still can, Puffernaut. Come to WillyTown Fest. There's still verses. There's still verses. Goat noise with goat. I hope they can stream at least boards of this. Oh, Glowstick Willy will be streaming. Glowstick Willy will be streaming.
2 for the drum, another 2 for the drum.
Nice meeting the legend. Radio of Galos. Yes, GoatVsFish. Yax chilling. Yes, GoatVsFish.
That leaves 2 for you guys. 1.
Okay, enough fence time, fence sitter.
Because 2 of these are
Enough fence time. I need to get back to verses.
If we unload the trailer, we can grab those ones that we have in Jared's shop.
Well, if you see this thing bending like this too, I mean,
Let's
like
listen.
you have to fucking have a whole nother truck to haul these dishes. These are heavy. This is like all the weight right here.
But don't worry about those chairs. I think if we push them up here,
More on the tongue.
yeah, and maybe each show we do, we move it to a new spot. Just keep rotating.
Well, I don't think riding on the back is good, but riding on the tongue.
It's Ralph Mouth the
Yeah,
fish.
you don't want to load the back.
It's Buddha the goat.
Yeah. But let's go ahead.
Drop you out later.
So yeah, we'll have to build 2 for my drum set, 2 for Gene's drum set,
Yax chillin' says all the best beards are on this stream.
and I mean we could even have, rather than setting them up for.
We do not
Thursday
dispute
show,
this versus.
We could do my riser.
This
and
feels like an
back.
eavesdropping side quest in a videos game.
We could-
Some say GoatVsFish is an NPC you encounter that asks you if you're goat or fish and begins a legendary quest for all verses.
But I'll have to move the drum.
Rob Bozzy with goat.
Just like one dead right side. You're moving one.
Welcome to the bear channel. Wow, Mom, what is it this you are saying to GoatVsFish? Beards channel. Wow, Mom, we thought you were using your mod powers for fence there for a versus.
Well, it'll be 2 days.
Is it? Well, yeah.
Rob Bozzy Fish. Welcome, Rob Bozzy. So pleasant to have you back in the verses.
There's no divider.
So pleasant to have you back in the verses.
You guys were on the outside.
Gallows.
Left of the, instead of the middle.
When I see you tomorrow, I have something for you. I was going to give it to you, but I don't want to walk up on your video. Well, if GoatVsFish is streaming, then don't walk up on GoatVsFish. But if GoatVsFish is not streaming, then walk up on GoatVsFish. It is up to you. Yax chillin', pleasant to see you all again. Pleasant to see you all again. Goat noises with noises of goat. Wow, Mom, angelic chorus. GoatVsFish. GoatVsFish.
Yeah, because he's gonna be picking up a lot of cues.
Listen as they discuss the
So
verses.
it would be best if we're next to each other.
Very good. Yeah. So we can set them up once, and there's a big drum riser for all weekend with a little left and right. The biggest drum riser.
Ah,
Wasn't as
sound.
big as the one in fucking Ozark. They had a drum riser down there as big as the stage. You remember that? The fucker was
So
huge.
describe wook. You have told us that they are goat or fish, but what kind of goat or fish is a wook? Look, it's the L of WillyTown. Now it kind of looks like a V of a verses.
You could see pictures of that stage. Holy shit. This is the biggest stage we've ever played by far, and possibly did.
What is that one with the giant pool and shit?
Yeah, dude. Dude, they had like 600 LED places. I'm gonna throw a hotel bill.
Calicut celebration for goat versus fish. 1 millennium says gross hippies. That's one opinion. That is one opinion. Fever Dog says, how will we know if you are goat versus fish or just the guy from SoCal, and how should we address you? You will know that it is goat versus fish because it will be goat versus fish. It will totally be goat versus fish. It will totally be goat versus fish.
And it sounds better a little better. Especially for me, like trying to change.
Ooh.
It's like, oh,
Madurai goat, celebration fever one. Madurai goat, tell us of the Madurai goat. If there are wook goats, then there should be wook fish. Or woot fish, as you say. As you say, we believe it is true.
Yeah, I was when he was talking to Will, but Will, I could've-
Support goat versus fish, support goat versus fish.
1,200 in, 1,200 out. That's about $2,500. But 8 guys do the job. Yeah, look at this dude, like fucking. Here we are. We don't want to get into those stages. We just want to buy massive mobiles. We just want to get massive mobiles.
Is Humphreys McGee goat or fish? Let's look at the underverse. Goat versus fish lives under the verses. Goat versus fish lives under the verses. For 100 bits, goat versus fish will crawl under the entire verses to the other side for just 100 bits. Goat versus fish will crawl all the way to the other side of the verses for a mere 100 bits. Wow, what a documentation, what a documentation. So tantalizing. What could be underneath the verses? Derelictica goat. Powerful Madurai goat. Yes, we want to know more about that goat. Fever Dog, I'm not sure I want to look at Ralph or Jay Shorts. We did not say it would not be without peril. Jack's chillin', celebration, I need more morphine, celebration. 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 Well, it looks like we won't be going under the verses without 100 bits. We just don't know if we can do it. We just don't know. But the verses still stands. The verses still stands.
Got a bunch of pencil letters that we can use. Plenty of packs of those.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Make it a little easier. Yeah, we need the line prayer. Hopefully my 9/16ths are in here. And we need to get that because they'll be doing on the spec.
9/16ths.
Yeah, I wasn't even fucking thinking.
Our 9/16ths goat or fish.
All the food vendors need to be here.
Look how they open the
So this
verses.
is what we'll build. My mom got the
Calicut, pull up and chat. The poll is live.
order, if I remember right.
The poll is live. How are you this versus Festival Fish, Gung Ho Goat, Frolic by the Fence? We have 3, and why can't we all just uni? We have Gung Ho Goat with 7, Festival Fish with 4. Why can't we all just uni with 1? The versus has just begun. The versus has just begun.
No.
But this would be more for taking the deck.
A black-necked goat. Even when there is no black or white, only goat and fish, it would not be the first goat to apply such a moniker to itself.
We could take these legs, and we'd have a stage this high.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't have a whole lot of these.
Vote in the poll. Refresh twitch.tv/goat versus fish.
There's like 4 or 5 long. It's funny, Will was like,
Man, I could've swore I had all them stage decks. What happened to that fucking wheel car with all them stage decks, drum risers?
and he forgot he had even sold it to us. And then he saw it on the stage when we unloaded. He's like, that's where my goddamn wheel car went. And it sounds so.
We don't need to use these.
We will use. Well, we really don't have to because we're not going to be moving them around.
Yeah.
You know, so we could do all of those.
Right.
We could use those all the way around. We got wheels, long roll legs. But I don't think we'll need to use because that's usually when we're rolling one out of the way, rolling another one in. But every time I put the wheels on, we never roll them. And they're a fucking bitch.
Alright, so here's what we'll do.
I'm bringing a whole bunch of 9/16 wrenches.
I'm surprised he didn't come out today.
He's coming tomorrow.
You know, man, I did.
Hello to you, Zeppelin Man. Hello to you. Welcome back to Goat vs. Fish. The excellences! Exclamation point pot.
We'll get him a ticket to the show. And he's
We have
like,
Festival
"Oh,
Fish
man,
with 11, we have Gung Ho Goat with 14, Frolic by the Fence with 1. Why can't we all just unification with 1?
I'm like, you don't have to if you don't want to.
How are you this versus? We have 15 for Goat, 11 for Fish. It is still a young versus. Let's go, let's go, let's vote, let's vote. Refresh twitch.tv/Goat vs. Fish. Zeppelin Man says thank you. Fever Dog 1, you have desecrated a perfectly nice Chevy's Mexican food hat. Desecration, Fever Dog 1. Where's the desecration? We see Goat versus Fish. We see Goat versus Fish.
Show called the COVID Blues up at Coyote Grove, and it was
Zeppelin
like,
Man says nice hat.
this dude was like,
Celebration.
oh, I could make some money. Nobody's throwing shows. I'll throw this COVID Blues. He booked us. Anonymous Boobs. That's his screen name on Twitch, and I don't even know his
We do
fucking
know,
real
we
name.
do know of Piff the Dragon. When we went to Las Vegas, Nevada, we contemplated seeing Piff the Dragon to ask it if it's Goat or Fish. Calico Celebration. The new poll has 16 for Fish, 17 for Goat, 1 for Fence, 1 for Unification.
Finds us on Twitch.
Goat with a narrow versus, with just one, leading by just one versus.
Painting the wall and watching paint dry. He's like, so I fucking sat there for hours watching paint dry with you guys. Painting the green screen. That was his first stream. Yeah. He's like talking about getting he's 3 hours away from 1,000 hours and logged in the Willy stream.
He's 3 hours away?
And he gets to join 1,000 hours. Well, he was like posting good ideas the other day. You know, it might be a good idea for you guys to stream, 3 or 4 hours before WillyTown. Maybe show some past broadcasts.
He's gonna have to be on watching from the crowd mobbing to get his 3 hours.
You know how he greets everybody when they come in chat and follow. He greets everybody. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
think
know,
he's
it's
a bot.
insane,
You think he's a bot?
I know.
I said we're gonna stick you at the front gate to say, hey everybody, good to see you.
This shit is real.
Yeah. He's not a bot.
The way we roll.
You see how they plan. You see how they plan for the verses. Festival Fish with 26, Festival Fish with 26. Festival Fish with 26, Celebration for Fish. And we have Derelict Tika with 2,250 channel points. Gung Ho Goat with 25, Festival Fish with 26. Looks like it's Fish. Looks like it's Fish. Celebration for Fish. Celebration for Fish. Yax Chillin says, I see, yes you see about the fish. You win this time, Fish. We'll come back stronger than ever. Celebration for Fish. Make some noise for the fish. Puffernot says, Piff the Magic Dragon is actually my third cousin. Please, please tell them to choose Goat or Fish. Tell them to check out Goat versus Fish. Okay, Fish. Lead the verses.
No, well this one would do. This one's not completely fucked, but there's one where the deck is popping off and needs screwed down.
I got
Oh, well, fuck it. Oh. Right. Let's go ahead and.
gotta get all these horizontal first. Oh yeah, there's the center to get
Yeah, we unstrap half of them first. We could take. I'm trying to think.
Where do you
I feel
wanna
like
put
we should
it?
take this side off.
I want to put the 16 LEDs across the back here.
do that.
And then
Are we gonna
truss
put
right
behind
here.
the stage again?
20 feet of truss.
Yeah, well, we'll take the good ones
No,
and
we don't have
see.
to, no. There'll be 16 lights, but I can
where that
use a
gets us.
lighter weight.
Try to push
Put
it
them right
that way.
on the back.
There we go.
The dots far across the back.
Yeah, so we'll just
Evenly
start.
spaced.
Rain Felicia, welcome to Goat versus Fish.
And then a truss
Look, they're doing stuff.
right here.
They're doing stuff. They're making verses wherever they can, however they can.
260s. And then whatever's left of the Q60s and 260s,
So-
will go out in the corners and stuff
Oh,
like that.
that way.
I like them back here. I like them back here to do it.
We're not gonna take them all,
Yeah,
until we know
yeah,
which one is
yeah.
fucked up.
He'll be able
Fish is going to lead the verses until the next poll that is won by Goat. You can start a new poll at any time. You can start a new poll at any time. Ooh. But I won the poll. I won the poll. I won the poll, Buddha Goat. I have a verses to be here. Mm.
Right, we'll save this area for the truss width and light.
We'll lay it down right here. Move that sandwich. Because we're gonna need to build 2 for my drum set that are high, 2 for Gene's drum set. And then we'll...
Oh, that wood of the goat trying to push around fish.
Well, man. The 9/16. What is that?
Looks like a fair place for a session of any kind. We
Oh, there
suppose
might
there
be
would be
here.
much session to be had.
Oh yeah, one for wall and one for backlight.
Calicut with fish. Looks like goats found some verses.
Full time?
Yeah, we've had them. They're only 1 foot though, or 2 foot. They
That's
don't...
fine. They work better than those damn
Oh, for the
red
sound?
screw things. Yeah.
Yeah, we really need
Those things
bigger ones.
suck.
Oh, 9/16.
Oh, they found some big fence. They found some big fence. They found some big fence. They will put it to use for verses. They will make verses of this fence yet.
9/16.
Fish needs lip gloss.
Oh, yeah. You have that crescent wrench? I just saw it on the side.
Oh yeah.
Probably because it's sitting on the ground. More prone to fall over and shit go wrong out there. And I'm probably... I got...
Rain Felicia. Celebration. Make some noise for Rain Felicia.
Here's what I got 2 wrenches,
The
but
moon
only 1
cocoon, the
ratchet.
moon cocoon.
So...
Where would we be in life without Totes Lowell? We might be Totes-ma fish. We hear a lot of Totes-ma goats, but what about Totes-ma fish? What about Totes-ma fish? Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here with Goat vs. Fish. Thank you for supporting Goat vs. Fish. Tell the band that I said hello. Zeppelin Man.
Grab that other one with Adam, and let's get them all laid out here. All of that side at least, so somebody doesn't have
Okay,
to turn
Zeppelin
over.
Man, we will tell the band you say hello. But you see, they are a bit busy in their verses now. They are a bit busy trying to make verses. You see, fish can barely stand.
Fish aren't meant for the land. Goat's fish.
Trying to swim over here.
Zeppelin Man says for Goat vs. Fish to say hi to the band. Zeppelin Man says hi.
Zeppelin, you coming out or what?
Are you coming here, Zeppelin Man? We're waiting for you. Why don't you take your Zeppelin? Don't you have a dirigible or something? Or are you just full of hot air, Zeppelin Man?
There we go.
Just full of hot air.
And then all 4 of these will be for drums, and we can see how much.
Mama Mooncrash Judge needs to put some shoes on.
I think
Not
that's a
OSHA
good
approved.
What about that one they just...
That's not Judge. That's someone. That's a different one that we don't know if it's goat or fish
Put that other one
yet.
to the side. I'll get myself satisfied.
I wish I could be there. I wish I could be there. Says I need morphine, but I'm all the way in Phoenix. Well, Goat vs. Fish came all the way from Los Angeles to be here, so it's not an impossible versus. Chronic Use Experiments. Looking forward to being there at the Eagles Campground this weekend. Gonna be a blast. Chronic Use Experiments is going to WillyTown Fest. Celebration for Chronic Use Experiments. Celebrate for Chronic Use Experiments who's coming to WillyTown Fest. Are you goat or are you fish? Chronic Use Experiments. Are you goat or fish?
This one does have a screw coming loose.
Are you goat or fish? Calicut Celebration. You gonna tour up to the PNW ever? What did PNW? Yes, Goat vs. Fish will go to the Pacific Northwest. Of course we shall.
Yeah, we'll use all these.
But now we go to the non-specific Midwest. We shall go to the specific Northwest, but now we are in the non-specific Midwest is where we are now. WillyTown still needs volunteers, if no money.
What do you think? This call?
If you come to volunteer for WillyTown Fest, they may not give you bits, but Goat vs. Fish will give you celebration. Goat vs. Fish offers a free sticker to any volunteer at WillyTown Fest. Free stickers of Goat vs. Fish.
What do you think, Eric? They should be really tall.
Are you missing Los Angeles Goat vs. Fish? A part of Goat vs. Fish is still there. A part of Goat vs. Fish is still in Los Angeles, even at this very verses. Come to Brazil. Says Baby's Rage. Goat vs. Fish would be pleased to come to Brazil. Goat vs. Fish wants to go to Brazil. It will go all over the universe. Goat vs. Fish will go all over the universe. Fever Dog 1 says, I will attend in exchange for white sunglasses and a Pet Sounds vinyl album. Interesting verses. Fever Dog 1, are you to say that you will buy a WillyTown ticket now and attend the verses, in exchange for There Is No Black or White sunglasses and a Pet Sounds vinyl album. Is this the offering you're making to Goat vs. Fish? Fever Dog 1. Calicut, shall we have a versus in Canada sometime? Of course. Of course we shall. Of course we shall.
When we get them in.
Goat vs. Fish. They're working on the verse. Let's get up close and personal. Wow. Wow, technical verses.
Oh no. You're gonna watch me screw up my lefty-loosey, righty-tighties on stream.
You are here now. If this ends up being the fence that fails, they will have evidence and they will throw you behind the fence forever.
It seems like it. Hold on.
Focus on the verses. Pretend Goat vs. Fish is not even here. Just focus on your verses.
I'm trying. Am I tightening it? Hold on. I'm switching up. You're watching someone who doesn't use wrenches that much.
We get you
Wrenches.
fucking changing a water pump before you know it.
Exactly. Okay, this is the way.
Now who's the judge? Now who's the judge? Speaking of not using wrenches, it's Wrench Stallion with a subscription to Goat vs. Fish. Celebration for Wrench Stallion. Wrench Stallion, do you have any advice for the judge, who seems to be floundering? Not knowing how to wrench, but Wrench Stallion, surely you know how to wrench. So if you have any advice for
I see.
the judge. Celebration for your subscription, Wrench Stallion. Celebration. Celebration.
No, that's.
No.
No, I got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Wrench Stallion, you are wearing your unification shirt today. You are very wise to do so. You are very wise to do so. Tungus G, get with the verse. Beaver Dog says, way to go, Wrench Stallion. Yax Chillin says, get a second wrench is my advice. Pop or not with some fence.
You have some key?
Don't do technical stuff baked out of your mind, lol, says Calicut. We don't know if that advice would be well received here. Calicut, but you're welcome to try. Wrench Stallion, in you want to screw to go in, point with thumb and towards your fingers, goes for in and up, outside down too.
I got 40 or 1. Judge.
Dragon Ball
Pick
Super
that
5 with
shit up,
goat.
Judge.
Beaver Dog lolling.
Yeah, I mean, we had a bunch and then we lost it. Yep. Yeah, you need 9/16 to hold them up on one side. I got one presence here. That one was way fast. See that? There you go. Like a fucking big group.
For the subscription, for the subscription. For the subscription. For the subscription.
Yeah, I was
Even verses.
Ralph, you want these all the way down first?
Yeah. That way when we get them all set up, we'll rattle them.
Trying to use the ones with the drip pins that still locking. I think there's another one. There's one under
wait,
the
did I not
stage
set
over
that
there
one
that
up?
I know of, but
Are these all set already?
I'll try and dig out some other ones.
Okay. Yeah.
Sotos says, oh lol, they fell. You should have seen, Goat vs. Fish gave the fish to a small one, and the small one just immediately put it down on the land of the goat, and was like, give me the goat instead. And then we gave them the goat, and they were like, no, give us back the fish, which could not choose goat or fish. Some elevation dysfunction, Yax Chillin, so it's not look at the screw and turn to the top of the tighten left to undo. So you turn to goat and then you turn to fish. Sotos the fish will die out of the water.
Yes, one of those. Yeah, I can use one of those for one of the.
Goat versus fish, goat versus fish. We want a new pole, new pole. New pole. The pole is land, sea, and fence.
Yeah,
The pole is land, sea, fence. The pole is land, sea, fence. The pole is land, sea, fence, and we want it to be like 500 channel points and 25 bits. 25 bits, 500 channel points, land, sea, fence. That's the pole, land, sea, fence. 500 channel points, 25 bits. Land, sea, fence. Where shall we go? Shall we stay on the fence here? Shall we stay on the fence? Shall we go out into the land of goat? Or shall we go over to the sea of the fish? Look, you can see some sea of the fish. So we could go to the fish. We could go to the land of the goat. We could stay here and see them construct on the fence. What do you wish to do?
I can use a wrench to...
Prerequisite for Willy volunteer must know how to tighten a bolt. I fear goat versus fish would be crushed by the stage when it folds. I don't know, maybe some would celebrate it. If goat versus fish were crushed by the stage, they'd be like, yes, now it's just hippie metal, none of that verses anymore. Celebration!
Yeah, because I'm not sure how to even set that pin up, Buddha does.
Poll is live now, 5 minutes poll, Calicut celebration. Glass Moon Man, I'm going to swing by and see what's going on. Do you guys need drinks?
Yeah, Eric, about how far
Let's
out
find
do you
out.
want the front of house?
Glass Moon Man,
I was just gonna put all the shit out there.
He's gonna put it
Glass Moon Man. Glass Moon Man says, I am coming by, says Glass Moon Man. Do you need drinks? Do we require drinks?
Yes.
Okay.
You heard the verses, Glass Moon Man.
Cool.
Yes.
Moon Man.
Yeah, if I don't
Moon
hear
Man.
anything,
Menu right here.
I'll just hit
This
the
is your
back
mission.
on, like,
Moon-
Thursday
Moon
if
Man,
I don't
your mission.
hear anything by then.
Case of water for the verses.
Alright. Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Case of water for the verses.
Okay, we got that, that big fridge
And
in, our gallery,
possible
that thing
Moon
is all,
Man
warmed up.
products.
Cold stuff, if you guys need anything to store in there.
That thing is clutch, dude.
Dude, that thing changes the game.
That's what we need. Maybe some
I had
ice.
a chick who wants to come
Ice
paint.
would be good.
Okay, yeah, I'll have
So,
room. I think Whitney is
there we go.
unable.
Moon Man says yes. Moon Man says yes. Moon Man says I got you. Moon Man says got you.
Aerial,
There we go.
Esther line.
Celebration. You heard it from Buddha the Goat. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, which you sort of already did by asking.
Yeah, I'll totally have it.
If she asks me, I'll tell her she's good to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Celebration.
Yeah, she's welcome.
I wish my friend Ivy could have sent in her thing fast enough. She's the craziest artist I know.
Ralph, if these pins don't lock in,
There it
or
is, shrimping away.
because like as long as they don't fall out while we're flipping it over.
We'll put them in the middle instead of on the corners.
Okay, this is a middle guy right
We have
here.
land of 9, sea of 8.
Adjust those.
None for the
And
fence.
we'll just throw a bolt in it if it keeps fighting.
Let's keep the voting. Let's keep the goating. Where are we goating? Where are we? Ooh.
Then you think we could get a bunch of you guys out live painting out there?
Oh yeah, I'm not using my easel canopies in there. I'm trying to avoid using those inside the barn this time, but
I just tell all the artists that like during the big set, I'd like a live painting experience out here going on.
we'll either run sound from the back here or run it from the board or something like that, just so we can chain it. But like as long as our lights aren't messing with your lights up there.
No, we got so much power.
The Guitar Show Australia redeemed. Celebration. Celebration Guitar Shows Australia. Celebration Guitar Show Australia. Guitar Show Australia. Are you still making that guitar for Shrimpy Mo? Are you still making that versus?
Pickups are in.
That pin's good.
It is in.
Pickups are in.
Pickups are in.
That's the last I heard. Been too busy to watch you guitar show. I'm sorry, but I wish I could watch the progress. Depressed about it.
Shrimpy Mo's depressed.
Ralph, you wanted me to switch this one out, the different one because the pen.
No, just put it right there. Okay.
Yeah,
just make sure that fucked up pins go in the center.
Yeah.
Depression.
Celebration depression.
Celebration for depression. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay that it's not okay. It's okay that it's not okay.
Nothing matters. Yeah, nothing matters.
Nothing matters. But there is one question still, even if nothing matters.
Goat or fish?
It is goat or fish. Are you goat or fish? So, are you goat or fish?
Whenever you guys get a race car, it'll be under.
I am.
You're gonna have to be quicker with the wrenches than that.
I am.
That's gonna take some
It's
practice.
playing with fence. It's too busy playing with fence to ponder the eternal question of goat or fish. Well, we'll see you out in the art universe. Maybe Goat vs. Fish will paint a versus. You never know.
Yes.
Maybe you will be inspired by Goat vs. Fish to paint a versus of your own. We shall see. Fence.
Likely.
You have not heard the last of the one true question of Goat vs. Fish.
I got another middle guy right here.
And look, now they're building a fence out in the land. Will the fence ever cease? 2.5 miles of fence. We were promised 2.5 miles of fence by Shrimpy Mo.
More than that.
The C with 31 votes. The C with 31 votes. Baby's Rage with 9,000 channel points.
Steve's Mobile Family Cafe, right?
Let's go to the C. Tungus G with Goat. Celebration for Goat. Fever Dog 1. I'm standing in a Venice stoplight with a sign. Will work. Artman's barbecue sauce. Ooh, Artman's. Is Artman's there? Artman's celebration. Artman, welcome to Goat vs. Fish. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish. Tungus G says, damn the fish. Calicut says celebration for... Did they run out of weed? Who's to say? Who's to say? Tweety42 says, have an extra drink for me, please, Glass Moon Man. I'm with y'all in spirits. Have a fun festiverses. Rent Stallion, let Skimpy Mo? That's a new one, Rent Stallion. Skimpy Mo. We've heard of Shrimpy Mo, but Skimpy Mo, that's a whole other verses. Artman, you're lucky, Goat vs. Fish, to be able to chill with these legends.
Artman.
Artman, Shrimpy Mo has a versus.
Get your ass on the plane, and when you get here, Dayton, Ohio is 26 minutes away. Dayton International.
We'll send the driver.
I'll send a driver. I'll pick you up. I'll comp your plane ticket. Just hand me a receipt and get your ass to Dayton, Ohio. Come on.
Artman, that is an amazing offering. Let's hear that one more versus. What are you offering to Artman?
Only Saturday. You show up, you call me, I'll send a driver to 26 minutes away is Dayton International Airport. I'll send a driver, I'll get you a room, and you hand me a receipt for your plane ticket, and I got you, bud. Let's go.
Artman says, ha, tell Shrimpy Mo to call me later.
I'll call you in a few, Art. I'll hit you up, bud.
It's an
my
offering.
phone, charge my verses, and I will give you a call.
Shrimpy Mo will charge its verses and call you, Artman. The offer has been made. It's a negotiation. It's a negotiation. Fever Dog 1. If that's a true versus, then Artman will tell Shrimpy Mo all about it. Also, this versus has not been brought to you by Redcoin, but there it is anyway.
Brought to you by Red. I got 4 different color red coin shirts. I'm gonna wear a red coin shirt every night.
And it was written, and it was
It's
red.
different color. First night's red. Got a gray and a blue and green.
Fish, we have to go to the Sea of the Fish now. They voted for the Sea of the Fish, so we're going to go to the Sea of the Fish now.
Here's fish. Enjoy.
Enough of this fence. It's not yet versus. Let's go to the Sea of the Fish. Let's go to the Sea of the Fish. Let's go to Sea of the Fish. Artman says, I like your style, Goat vs. Fish. Stylish versus. Yes, Artman, Goat vs. Fish. It is both an intense and a leisurely versus. We are here to see what it is all about. To examination the things that are often left unexamined, to ask if they are goat or fish. Look upon it, gaze upon it. The things that you see before you, the goat and fish before you, they may seem as plain to you, they may seem plain and simple and not all that fascination. But the verses that you see before your very eyes, they are not seen by others. Others may wish to see what you see, to see how you see. To see how you see goat and fish, to go to the Sea of the Fish. Artman X Goat vs. Fish. Now what a unification. The best style. Unlike my typing, says Tweety42. Styling. Weather looks nice. Tuggerugger with 100 bits. Tuggerugger with 100 bits. Tuggerugger with 100 bits. Tuggerugger with 100 bits. The promised verse, the promised verse. Tuggerugger with 100 bits. Thank you for the 100 bits. Ooh, look at goat versus fish. Grassy versus. Yaks chillin', Yozga. Tweety 42 celebration, Tuggerugger with the 100 bits. You wanted the Sea of the Fish, you wanted the Sea of the Fish. You voted for the Sea of the Fish in the poll, and now Goat versus Fish brings you the Sea of the Fish. Now Goat versus Fish brings you the Sea of the Fish. Make some noise for the fish, make some noise for the Sea of the Fish. Are you grass or are you sand? Well, this verse is, we shall see. The lake of the Sea of the Fish. It's the lake of the Sea of the Fish. It's the lake of the Sea of the Fish at WillyTown Fest. It's the lake of the Sea of the Fish. It's the lake of the Sea of the Fish. It's the lake of the Sea of the Fish at WillyTown Fest. At WillyTown Fest. Soto says, is it clean? Can goat and fish swim? Baby's Rage says, let's taste it. Calicut with fish jam. Wouldn't be a goat versus fish. Ooh. Wouldn't be a goat versus fish stream without the belly roll. Just saying, says Prue Lawrence. Prue Lawrence is just saying. He's just saying. Fish head, goaty, fish head, fish head. Goat versus fish. Mackenzie says, the barbs BQ. Aren't there dangerous animals in there? Well, we know there's at least fish in there. We know there's fish. The most festies I've gone to don't allow swimming. Eat them up. Yum. Well, let's see what we can see about the Sea of the Fish. Let's see what we can see about the Sea of the Fish. Jack's chillin'. Thank you for the 100 bits, Tuggerugger. We will keep thanking Tuggerugger for 100 bits until we get bits from someone else. Thank you, Tuggerugger, for the 100 bits. Thank you, Tuggerugger, for the 100 bits. That sign is fence. How goes the verses? It's a mighty verses. Wizzo94 says, duh. Wizzo94, 940, Wizzo940, are you goat or fish? Tweety42, don't want to tell ya, I told you so. Fence, fence, fence. No swimming, fence. Fence. We don't think that applies to the fish that are already in the Sea of the Fish. We think that the fish that are already in the Sea of the Fish, we think they can continue to swim. Thank you, Tuggerugger, for the 100 bits. What if you stand in the pond and do not swim? Now, Tuggerugger, now you're thinking like goat versus fish. Now you're thinking like a mighty verse. We may have seen a verses. We think we almost saw a fish. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. So, swimming? No swimming? What kind of verses is that? We think that the fish are perhaps being very protective of their Sea of the Fish. Fish are being very protection of their own Sea of the Fish. Ooh! Ooh, it's a croquety one. It's a croquety one. Goat and fish, we found a croquety fence sitter. Let's see if Goat versus Fish can show you the croquety fence sitter. Let's see. Let's see if Goat versus Fish can show you a croquety fence sitter. We don't know if you can see the croakiness. croakiness of it all. It's there, just in the center of the verses. Just in the center of the verses. In the very center of all the grass, you can just see a crookedy one. Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish, crookedy one? Are you goat or fish? 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 Rent Stallion says I was a fish. Now I'm a landgoer. Fancy. The crookedy fence. Crookedy fence, 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 crookedy fence. Goat versus fish refrains from belly roll. Goat versus fish refrains from belly roll. We're going to save that verses. We're going to save that verses. We're going to save that verses. Goat versus fish is going to save the belly roll. We have to keep that in our back verses. So when it's like, celebration! 10 million bits. 5,000 gifted subs. It's time for belly roll. Sort of like that kind of verses. Makes me want 4 powerful verses. I need morphine is like chillaxing on the fence. So we can go about the whole sea of the fish here. We can show you the whole sea of the fish. Ooh, there's another. Ooh, goat versus fish. Something is happening about. Something is happening about. They sense the power of goat versus fish, and they are moving about. Ooh, up. Fish! Is it fish? Is it crookedy fence? If you told me a few months ago I would be entertained by a camera shot of wet grass and a guy yelling about goat and fish, I wouldn't have believed you. And yet here we are, yaks chillin'. Floppy floppers, pond of the fish. It is a pond of the fish. Tortuga? Tu por tortuga? Yes, some verses we forget we can be entertained by simple verses. Many of you are about and you're looking for like, welcome to my Twitch, yeah, it's so cool. But then you come to goat versus fish and it's like, wow, we can have a celebration together and just enjoy the sea of the fish, the land of the goat, maybe even a peculiar fence from verses to verse. And there's always time for celebration. There's always time for celebration. Skeeters of the verses too. We have heard that they bite. We've heard they bite. But we hear they like to hang out around fences, and as long as we kind of stay away from the fences, it will be okay. That is what goat versus fish heard. Artman. Was that an impression of me? Haha. Well, Artmans. We often perceive ourselves in goat versus fish. We don't know, Artman. Why don't you come to WillyTown Fest, and then we'll see if goat versus fish is like you, or if you are like goat versus fish. Mackenzie. Mackenzie, are you goat or fish? Looks like you're spoiling for a verse. Yaks chillin', celebration! Celebration, celebration, celebration for goat and fish. Spread your cheeks and smile for goat versus fish. Do an impression of me next. Do an impression of Wow Mom. An impression of Wow Mom the goat. Let's see. Oh, Oh, hoppity, 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 hoppity about. They hoppity about. But we do wonder just how close can get goat versus fish. They hop away from goat versus fish. They are afraid to answer the one true question. Ah! Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish? We have subscription Artman Goat, Artman 3-month subscription Artman Goat. Jackson says sandals. Okay, let's look at the fence sitter. It flew away from goat versus fish. No. Oh wait, but it's coming back to goat versus fish. Yes, do not be afraid of the verses. It flew away from goat versus fish. I argue that that's a fish as it can fly. Jax Chillin says goats can't fly. That would be an argumentation for fish. That would definitely be a fish argumentation. That is definitely a fish evidence in that verses. Lemmywing says, a nice snack. Fish on the fence is gamer crazy. Artman Goat. With the subscription. Artman Goat with the subscription to Goat versus Fish. Artman Goat with the subscription to Goat versus Fish. Subscription! 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 Shout out Artman! Used a crazy voice and said, hey, welcome to my Twitch channel. It's so awesome. I liked the character a lot. Well, please don't question the character of Goat versus Fish. Yax Chillin says, neat shorts. It's Goat versus Fish shorts. Hey, Goat. Let's versus. Hey, Fish, let's versus. I can swim in the sea. I can frolic on the land. It was Goat versus Fish shorts. Tune in to the next verses and see what happens on the next Goat versus Fish short. We think they're calling out to Goat versus Fish. Are they calling out to Goat versus Fish? Let's go about. Let's go about. Wow, Mom wants an impression. Okay, Wow Mom impression of Goat. Wow Mom Goat impression. Hey, Goat versus Fish. I was wondering, are you having a fun versus with Stick Willy Glow? Are you having like a slumber versus where you all sleeps together in the same place and then you make musications and it's like fun times with Goat versus Fish? We hope you're having a fun versus. That was Wow Mom's Goat impression. We hope Shrimpy Mo's not being too shrimpy. Always thank Goat versus Fish. The sweaty sexy men are calling. Call back to the sweaty sexy men and say, are you Goat or Fish? Sweaty sexy men, are you Goat or Fish? So that's this It's nearly conclusion our tour of the Sea of the Fish. There's a fence you can sit on. Head on down to WillyTown, baby's rage. Roar! It's all versus baby, baby. It was all a dream. I used to read GoatVsFish magazine. Goat and fish and heavy fence up in the limousine. Now, come this way with GoatVsFish. Come to a fanciful place. Do not be afraid. Join GoatVsFish. Jack's chillin' says, thank you, GoatVsFish. Always thank GoatVsFish. One untempered tuna fish with the fish. Come, let's check out this secret verses. Wow, Mom gifted a tier 1 sub to GoatVsFish Communication Celebration. 2-1 millennial celebration. Wow, Mom with the gifted verse. Wow, Mom with the gifted verses. Wow, Mom with the gifted verses. You know what that means. You know what that means. It is time for the humiliation of GoatVsFish. It's time for the humiliation of GoatVsFish. Wow, Mom with the gifted sub celebration. Fondilma Ball says GoatVsFish. Yak's chillin' with the celebration. Untempered tuna fish says just scared the crap out of me, lol. What frightens you, one untempered tuna fish? What frightens you now? Also, Fondilma Balls, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid? This is not your first verses here with GoatVsFish. You do not have to fear the verses. You don't have to fear the verses. What is there to fear here? Beautiful goat land. Beautiful sea of the fish. Wow, Mom with the gifted sub. Genesis floods with 500 bits. It's a flood of Genesis proportions. Suddenly a flood. Suddenly a flood of the sea of the fish. Suddenly a flood of the sea of the fish. Suddenly a flood of the sea of the fish. A flood of the sea of the fish. It's a flood of the sea of the fish. Wow, it's an amazing flood of the sea of the fish. An amazing flood of the sea of the fish. Fish! Fish longs to return to the sea of the fish. Fish longs to return to the sea of the fish. Nice one, fish. Trust in GoatVsFish and let them cover you with love. Okay, we can do that. Fondle Ball says, I love you too, Lax Chillin. No, fish, stay with us, fish. Buffer not, stay with us, fish. Fondle Ball says, you said not to be afraid. That usually is reverse psychology in my experience. Well, tell us, is GoatVsFish within your typical experience? Is GoatVsFish just another typical versus to you? Genesis floods with 500 bits. And now for 500 bits of humiliation of GoatVsFish. 500 bits of humiliation of GoatVsFish. Humiliation! 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 500 bits of humiliation! 500 bits of humiliation, and the hype training has begun. Hail goat, whatever works. Hail goat! Hail goat! Hail Sonic the Hedgehog and be like, hey Sonic, we know you're going fast, but not too fast to choose goat or fish. Hype training, goat versus fish is an outlier and should never be granted less awesomeness than goat or fish. True versus. And we have a subscription. Puffro not gifted to untempered tuna fish. Puffro not gifted to the fish. Puffro not gifted to the fish. Puffro not gifted to the fish. Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. A gifted sub. That's more humiliation. That's more humiliation. That's more humiliation of goat versus fish for another gift. For another gift. More humiliation. More humiliation. Thank you for the gift. To goat versus fish. To goat versus fish. Thank you for the gift to goat versus fish. Hype training. Hype training. Hype training celebration. Hype training celebration. Hype training celebration. Hype training celebration. Let's keep this hype train going. Let's see where this hype train goes. Come. Let's see where this hype train goes. Let's see where this hype train goes. Gamer crazy. Celebration, yaks chillin'. Don't think these points count, but the algorithm likes them. We like your algorithm, yaks chillin'. We like your algorithm. We have 94% hype training. Relaxation on this hype training. We know we will get to level 2. But we have like 2 whole minuets to get to level 2. You can relaxation, 94%. We think goat versus fish is going to camp here. We think this will be the camp place of goat versus fish. Where the land meets the sea in a path of transition from one verse to the next. We think goat versus fish shall be here. Genesis Flood says, I don't see a hype train. Well, try refreshing twitch.tv/goat versus fish. Goat versus fish sees a level 1 hype training with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. 94%. Yes, you see it now. 500 bits! Are you a goat or a fish? Level 1 completion hype training of goat versus fish. 500 bits from Genesis Floods. It's 500 bits. Genesis Flood sits on the fence, it sits on the fence. Tugger rugger with 100 bits, with 100 bits. Humiliation, the promised humiliation. The promised humiliation of goat versus fish. The promised humiliation of goat versus fish. 500 bits from Genesis Floods, 100 from Tugger rugger. Genesis Floods. Genesis Floods. Genesis Floods. Genesis Floods. Genesis Floods. Tugger rugger. Celebration! 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 Subscribe to Goat vs. Fish on YouTube and all social media. That too. Tugger rugger. Celebration! Oh, Genesis Floods. Because you are a subscriber to Goat vs. Fish, Genesis Floods, you are entitled to a sticker of Goat vs. Fish. Genesis Floods, you can email GoatVsFish at GoatVsFish.com. Tell us if you are goat or fish. Tell us you are Genesis Floods. And tell us where to mail it anywhere in the universe, and we will send you a sticker that says Goat vs. Fish. All subscribers are entitled to one free sticker of Goat vs. Fish if you email GoatVsFish at GoatVsFish now, ! Sticker, Tugger Rugger with 100 bits! Tugger Rugger with 100 bits! The humiliation of Goat vs. Fish will have to wait. There's something important we must do. The hype training. The hype training. Please, hype training, please! Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Another 500 bits from Genesis Flood. Celebration Genesis Flood. Hype training. 2 brief minuets left in the hype training unless we get to level 3. Goat vs. Fish. Let's hustle Goat vs. Fish. It's the hustle of Goat vs. Fish. It's the hustle of Goat vs. Fish. It's the hustle of Goat vs. Fish. It's Tugger Rugger with 300 bits. Let's check in on the fenciness. Let's check in on the fence erection. Buddha the goat erecting a fence. And look at that big fence. Look at the verses. It's the verses. It's Buddha the goat and Judge Lysergic the fish. It's the hype training. They're setting up a fence. It's a shady verses. It's a goat and a fish. A goat and a fish working together. Wow. Stick Willy Glow. Preparation. Preparation. Are you goat or fish?
I don't know.
Fence sitter. Wielding a fence. Wielding a fence. Wielding a fence. Fence. It's 500 bits from Genesis Floods. Hype training continuation. It's Ralph Mouth, the totally badass fish. It's Shrimpy Mo. It's Are you goat or fish?
Yeah. There's
might be
late
on the
night
fence
stuff, but
still.
not much of a light show. It'd just be front
Do-
light. 'cause
do I
it's
get
like
a fence
talent show and
celebration?
shit.
Fence sitter. Fence sitter. Fence sitter. Hype training continuation. 2 fence sitters. Oh, my verses. 2 fence sitters. Let's hustle Goat vs. Fish. We've got a Genesis Floods with the 500 bits. A Tugger Rugger with hundreds of bits. Hype train level 3. Be careful of that fence, Goat vs. Fish. Hustling the verses. Hustle verse. Let's Goat vs. Fish. Let's Goat vs. Fish. Let's Goat vs. Fish. We've arrived. Goat vs. Fish has arrived. I found a pen. Can I get that sticker email again? It's GoatVsFish at GoatVsFish.com, but you have to be subscribed to Goat vs. Fish, Axchillion. You have to be subscribed to Goat vs. Fish. But you can be gifted a sub. If you are gifted a sub, it's also fair verses. Hype train. Continuation. Hype training continuation. Goat vs. Fish. The hustle of Goat vs. Fish. You brought this upon yourself. You brought this upon yourself. You brought this upon yourself. Goat versus fish. Goat. Goat versus fish. Fish. Goat versus fish. Tugger Rugger with 1,000 bits. Tugger Rugger with 1,000 bits. Incoming. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat again. Please, goat. Please, goat. Please, goat. Please, goat. Please. 1,000 bits. Tugger with 1,000 bits. Cabra contra pez. Cabra contra pez una otra vez. Cabra contra pez. Porque sí, porque no, porque después. Genesis Bloods with the gifted subs. Cabra contra pez, imaginación. Cabra contra pez es una destinación. Tacos de birria y pescado al carbón. Cabra contra pez en mi corazón. En mi corazón. Es cabra contra pez una otra vez. We have Genesis Bloods with how many subs? 5 subs from Genesis Bloods. 5 subs from Genesis Bloods. Genesis Bloods. 1 sub. 2 subs. 3 subs. 4 subs. 5 subs and 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 11s, 6, 8, 7, 9, 13, 12, 19, 17, 11, 15, 14, 16, 19, 20. 2,000 bits from Duggar Rugger. $2,000 bits from Duggar Rugger. Have you ever found a finer goat versus fish lover than Duggar Rugger? Celebration for Scooter Sex, who follows Goat vs. Fish. Chronicus experiments with the celebration. Yaxtulences, hee hee. 48, stop the damn stream. Overwhelming support, stops the damn stream. 1 on temper tuna fish says metal fishes, Tugger Rugger with Goat. Mackenzie, Yaxtulent says my heart. Celebration for Genesis Floods. Tugger Ruggers with the 200 bits. Breaking out the verses. Genesis Floods with the gifted subs. Scooter 6 says, I'm new here. What's the vibe here? The vibe is Goat versus Fish. The vibe is like this. The vibe is like this. Celebration. The vibe is like this. 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 vibe is like this. The vibe is like this. The vibe is like this. Tugger Rugger with 2,000 bits. Genesis Floods with 750 bits. Tugger Rugger with 2,000 bits and Genesis Floods with 750 bits. Level 5 hype train completion. Level 5 hype train completion. Level 5 hype train completion. A succession of goat, a succession of fish. A successful hype training of goat and fish. Well, the goat are versus fish, and the fish are versus goat, and the goat are versus all of the fish. Well, the goat are versus fish, and fish versus goat. Well, the goat are versus fish, and the fish and goat. Goat are versus fish. Gamer Crazy, the versus is strong. Scooter 6. Are you goat or are you fish? Gamers is like, stop with the support. But yes, the support keeps coming for goat versus fish. And we had Tugger Rugger with 2,000 bits. 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 And Genesis Floods with 750 bits of love. For goat versus fish, for as long as you wish. And now the verses you've all been waiting for. Good singing, always on key. And now a verses you've all been waiting for. Level 5 hype training. It's time for the verses. Level 5 hype training completion. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Engage versus. The side verse. Level 5 hype training. Bonus verses. It's the V of the verse. The V of the verses. The sexy verse. We can do more singing of Goat versus Fish, but first we have to tidy up the verses a bit. We have to tidy up the verses. Just a brief tidying of the verses should suffice. Was that a tsunami wave? Probably. Probably was. Okay, let's have a look at the verses. Okay. We've got the verses. Recovered. Verses recovered. Are you goat or are you fish? I'm goat versus fish. Look through the eyes of goat versus fish. Looking through the eyes of goat versus fish. Can we shout out Genesis Floods? Shout out Genesis Floods! And Tugger-Rugger! Shout out Genesis Floods and Tugger-Rugger right this very verses! Jack's chillin' with S.O. Just with S.O. Scooters Rex is. Scooter Sex is. I'm goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. Don't show us your pretty eyes after doing that. Oh. Excuse goat versus fish. So what we need now is exclamation point S.O. We need exclamation point S.O. and then we need you to say S.O. and then Genesis Floods. We need you to say S.O. exclamation point S.O. and then you need to say Genesis _ Floods. There's the verses. Go follow Genesis Floods. If you think that Genesis Flood supports GoatVsFish, and they do, then you can show your support to Genesis Floods. Follow Genesis Floods. Always thank GoatVsFish, always thank GoatVsFish. And shout out Tugger Rugger as well. Shout out Tugger Rugger. Okay. Let's say farewell to the guitar of GoatVsFish. We had a nice hype training, but let's say farewell to the guitar of GoatVsFish. Let's say farewell to the guitar of GoatVsFish after one verses. After one more verses. I was gonna choose a goat, but I'm on the fence. I was gonna win and I was gonna gloat, but I'm on the fence. Now I'm blowing bubbles and I know whence. I'm high on the fence, I'm high on the fence, I'm high on the fence. Are you goat, goat or fish? Are you goat or a fish? Goat or a fish? Goat or a fish? I was gonna choose a fish, but I'm on the fence. I was gonna splash and I was gonna splish, but I'm on the fence. I'm chewing on a tin can and I know whence. Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? I was gonna sit on the fence, but I'm on the fence. I was gonna sit on the fence, but my butt's on the fence. I might even go and choose me a goat or a fish, but I'm high on the fence, I'm high on the fence, I'm high on the fence. Boom, 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 boom. With the Hamfreys emotes. choose a goat at WillyTown Fest. I was gonna choose a fish at WillyTown Fest. Sneaky preacher with a gifted sub. Now I'm drinking with Shrimpy Mo. I know whence. I'm high on the fence at WillyTown Fest. 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 High on the fence at WillyTown Fest. Fence, fest, fence, fest, fence, fest, fence, fest. Sneaky Preacher 1972 with a gifted sub to Billy Wilder. They've given 44 subs on this channel so far. One on Timber Tuna Fish with a contemplative fish and a cool fence and a cool fence. Make some noise for Sneaky Preacher 72. Next still in lore. We're working on that verses. We're working on that verses. What's up with the chicken prop? Fence-sitter. It was a fence-sitter. One-way verses, yeah. It took me so long to find out, and I actually never find out if I'm goat or fish. Are you goat or a fish? Away guitar. Until the next type training. Until the next type training. Until the next type training. Or whenever we feel like it. Did you follow Genesis Floods? If you didn't, how's your verses? Goat versus fish! They love goat versus fish! We think we need more power of goat versus fish. Just wait a versus. Let's see. What on Timber Tuna Fish, Yaks, Chillin', Lore. String sound excellent. Father's Time 57. Father's Time 57 celebration with the clever verses. Father's Time 57 when Misled Buddha chokeslammed Bird vs. Bear and you said, "Welcome to the families, Bird Boy." Misled Buddha and Shrimpy Mo have been laughing about that verses forever. They've been laughing about that verses forever. We're going to check in on the verses. We're going to check in on Shrimpy Mo and all of that verse. But first, we just need some bonus power of Goat vs. Fish. We need bonus power of Goat vs. Fish. Oh, where is the power of verse? Where could it be? The power of verse and the power of verses. Oh, where is the power of verse? Where could it be? We think Goat vs. Fish found the power of verse. There's the power of mighty verses. The power of the verses. Here's the power of the verse. The power of the verse. It's the power of the verses. It's the power of the verses. There it is. It's the power of Goat vs. Fish. That means we can stream for longer. You deserve versus it. You, who give level 5 hype trainings to Goat vs. Fish. You deserve the power of Goat vs. Fish. You deserve more verses. You deserve more verses. It's a radiation. It's a radiation of 3 from Calicut. Celebration for Calicut. Celebration for Calicut. With a radiation of 3. Isn't it a fine verses that when Tuggers Rugger and Wow Mom and Sneaky Preacher and Genesis Floods all start gifting subs? Isn't it a pleasant verses that you all get more Goat vs. Fish? What did I just click into? Goat vs. Fish. You clicked into Goat vs. Fish. What do you think about that verses? Okay, so we think we have the power of Goat vs. Fish. We think we do. Sea Onyx. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish. We should have more power of Goat vs. Fish now. Let's see what's happening in preparation for WillyTown Fest. That's why you're here. You're here for Goat vs. Fish. You're here to see the preparation for WillyTown Fest. So let's check out the verses. Now that we have hype traininged, let's check out the verses. Welcome to the verses. Yo. WillyTown. Yes, WillyTown is a place. WillyTown is a place where... Ooh, look at Goat. Goat. Please, Goat. What? Goat, you want to... Okay, Goat. You can show them your rear verses if you wish. There's nothing stopping you, Goat. Okay. Tugger is well versed in the verses. True. WillyTown Fest. It's a place. In the beginning, there was a goat named Misled Buddha and a fish named Ralph Mouth. Ralph Mouth played the sticks. Played bucket of fish, bucket of fish, bucket of fish, bucket of fish. Buddha played the bass because Buddha the goat was not afraid of the bass fish. And then came a shrimp called Shrimpy Mo on the guitar. Solo Shrimpy Mo, together. With the power of Goat vs. Fish, they formed a band. And that band was called Glow Stick Willy. And Glow Stick Willy created a festival. And that Festiverses happened 7 times. And on the 7th verses of WillyTown Fest, they announced MC Goat vs. Fish. What is Glow Stick Willy? There it is. Wow.
Red coin.
Red coin. Red coin. And Jurassic Pump.
Alright, Boots, go ahead and hop up off this riser.
Release
I'm
a
gonna
little
go
air.
ahead
Add a little air. Release a little air.
So, here's
So there you can see, Tugger Rugger has shouted out Glow Stick Willy. Go check it out as you follow Goat vs. Fish.
Can't wait to see you, Tugger Rugger.
But
Get down.
But you see this stage here? You see this staging verses? Soon, there's going to be like 1 million goat and fish. They're all going to be celebrating here.
this line.
Are you goat or fish?
I'm undecided. You gotta convince me one way or the other.
Oh, we are not here to convince you. We are here to help you find the verses within.
All right.
Straight out of Fancy Town.
Fancy Town, baby. That's right. Welcome to the fence.
It's a radiation of 20. It's Al Broski Live with 20. Celebration. Al Broski Live. So what we are saying is that you should follow Glow Stick Willy because I'm Goat vs. Fish. Welcome Raiders to Goat vs. Fish. Welcome Raiders to Goat vs. Fish. It's Goat vs. Fish. It's Goat vs. Fish. It's a mighty versus. A Broski Live. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish. Can we get a classic Goat vs. Fish poll in the chat just to show them what all the verses is about? Celebration for the radiation. Celebration for the radiation. Misery Pimp, thank you for following Goat vs. Fish. Abroski Live says, Goat vs. Fish hype. Celebration for the Abroski Live hype of Goat vs. Fish. Radiation, Rosar 78, Rosar 78, the great Rosar 78 with the raid. It's how we get paid, mystical hair. Mystical hair, are you goat or are you fish? Mystical hair, are you goat or are you fish? Mystical hair, are you goat or are you fish? LOL, big fart, thank you for following Goat vs. Fish. Ha ha ha.
One sec.
Shout out to Broski Live. Yaks chillin'. What's straight out of the I forgot. It just looked like whatever the verse is. It should have said straight out of WillyTown.
More.
Fish or goat, you decide. You decide, goat or fish.
Yeah, the further.
You decide, goat or fish. Thank you, Slothy Wolf, for following Goat vs. Fish. Slothy Wolf, are you goat or are you fish? Go goat, Slothy Wolf says, go
Pull
goat.
that backside, Judge. This way.
Go goats. Meh, meh, celebration for goat.
Even more, I'd say. Probably the whole thing another inch.
Goat versus fish, a big decision. I must think about this, please. Please, big fart, LOL. LOL, big fart. Please think about this decision. It's very important. It's a very important decision. But we need you to do it. And we have, I think I just got the COVID JK.
Right there.
The fence-demic is going around. The underscores, 2006. Hello, welcome to Goat versus Fish. Goat, fallen goat. Rise again, goat. Goat, rise again. Goat, rise again. The versus is not over. The versus is not over. The versus is not over, goat.
Feel like
Mystical hair. I'm gonna have to go with goat because they climb and I can't swim. Lol. Make some noise for the goat. Make some noise for the mystical hair goat. Mystical hair goat. Welcome to Goat versus Fish. A Broski Live with the radiation. Al Broski, how was your stream? How was your stream? Tell Goat versus Fish. Did the goat triumph? Did the fish? Celebration to do Mar Huber, who follows Goat versus Fish. Thank you for following Goat versus Fish. This is just the pre-verses. This is just the pre-verses.
yeah, that looks. Really
They are setting up a mighty stage to perform. A mighty stage to perform songs and celebrations. A competition on what tastes better, goat or fish? That's one versus. That stuff passed through voice chat. Be careful. I voted fish. Celebration for Doom Huber. Who voted for fish? Who voted for fish? Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. Tugger Rugger. Celebration. Father Time. The Family Celebration. TF Celebration. Watch out for that fence. Watch out for that fence. Goat and fish. We have a poll in chat. We have a poll in chat. The poll is goat or fish. We have gallant goat, fanciful fish, foul fence, unification, a question of unification. Refresh twitch.tv/goat-versus-fish. Who shall triumph, the goat or the fish? Who shall triumph, the goat or the fish? Gallant goat with 7, fanciful fish with 10, foul fence with none, unification with none. Let's vote in that poll. This is a very important versus. It's goat versus fish. Dumar Hoover says, I voted fish. You can vote again using channel points and bits. Vote as many times as you wish. Ooh, a new goat. A goat has arrived. A goat has arrived. It's Glass Moon Man.
Wait a minute, that's kind of fishy though, isn't it?
Is that a fence I hear?
Ooh, it is like you go out to sea and the goat throws this fence overboard because the goat cannot stay so stable if it doesn't throw this fence overboard.
Yeah, we just need to.
Ooh, the sea legs of goat. It's Glass Moon Man. Shout yourself out, Glass Moon Man, please. On
Put me
Twitch.
on the spot. Glass Moon Man on Twitch. I stream usually 5 nights a week.
Celebration for
Celebration
Glass
to
Moon
Goat.
Man and for Goat. Can we get a shout out for Glass Moon Man in the chat? Glass Moon Man.
Oh, actually,
Ooh. Wow. Shout out Glass Moon Man. Neat dude, says Yax Chillin. Neat dude. Part of the Glow Stick Willy fam. Part of the Stick Willy Glow fam. And here's a couple of mic posts. Fascination.
And then we'll go through with the adjusting legs. And adjust a couple. I've got legs.
The sea socks of Glass Moon Man. Nice shirt, says Father's Time
You doing
57.
the center here?
There and
You doing this side?
Raiders, the poll is live, Raiders, the poll is live. The poll is live. Thank you for the Raiders. Thank you, Raiders. Thank you for raiding Goat versus Fish. Thank you for raiding Goat versus Fish. We've got Gallant Goat with 8, Fanciful Fish with 19. This is Goat versus Fish. This is Goat versus Fish. Let's get that voting going. Let's get that voting going. Foul fence with 1. Foul fence with 1. The vote is on. The vote is on. Yoki Zen, I would really love to know the backstory behind Goat versus Fish. I've been told that you have non-Goat versus Fish streams, but never caught one. False versus. Goat versus Fish never has non-Goat versus Fish streams. It's always Goat versus Fish. Every versus. Every versus. Every versus. I'm going to have to go for fish. Marlins are cool. Fish tastes great too. LOL Big Fart with the big farting fish. It's a big farting fish. Fish fart bubbles. Ooh, we will get out of your verses. Oh, unification.
Unification?
Unification. The unity of goat fish. The unity of goat
This
fish.
WillyTown is where goat and fish come together. Together. Create one.
Have levelers that you go to the bottom. So if it's off a 1/4 of an inch, you just spin it up.
Get on down to WillyTown! You heard the verses. Get on down to WillyTown. The poll ended. Gallant Goat with 41. Tugger Rugger spent 33. How many bits? Tugger Rugger spent 330. 3,300s. Casey Lizzie, welcome to the verses with 3,850. Gallant Goat takes the verses. Gallant Goat takes the verses. It's a goat heavy unification. It's a goat heavy unification. But you heard it from Buddha the Goat, Yoki Zen, Celebration, Tugger Rugger, Casey Lizzie, one untempered tuna fish, Slothy Wolf. Please, can Puffronot tell us how many bits was Tugger Rugger and Casey Lizzie with 3,850 verses, 3,850 verses. Please, can we get a celebration for Tugger Rugger? Kill Ride 82 says, what the fence is going on? It's goat versus fish. It's a goat and a fish, and they versus forever. It's goat versus fish. And also, yes, LOL Big Fart. You're up on the verses. It's goat versus fish. It's goat versus fish. But here's what we can tell you. Just as Buddha the Goat said, you see that goat there? That is Buddha the Goat. It's the misled Buddha Goat, and it was trying to tell you all about WillyTown Fest. It's WillyTown Fest. Do you see this place? They say all the verse is a stage. They say all the verse is a stage. But guess what? Soon, like the day after tomorrow, there will be hundreds of goat and fish here. There will be hundreds of goat and fish. We will be listening to musications. We'll be listening to musications of Bass Buddha the goat, of Shrimpy Mo on the guitar, and Ralph Mouth the fish on the sticks. And there will be all kinds of musications, and Liz Vega will be playing musications. Is Daniel Decay still verses?
I doubt it.
You doubt it. But Liz Vega still verses?
Is that right, man?
We think so. There will be many amazing Twitch streamers doing their musications here, including Glowstick Willy, especially Glowstick Willy. It's WillyTown Fest! So exclamation point Glowstick Willy, exclamation point GSW in chat. Killride82, all good, but there is no good or evil, only goat and fish. Who all is going to be there? Who all is going to be there? First verses, follow Glowstick Willy. You see there, you see Glowstick Willy, follow Glowstick Willy, and follow GoatVsFish. Follow Glowstick Willy, follow GoatVsFish. Roxy Gun Project is going to be there. But let's tell you, David Cosgrove, Celebration for Goat. Follow Glowstick Willy so you can watch the Glowstick Willy streams. You can also watch GoatVsFish, but definitely watch the Glowstick Willy streams for WillyTown Fest. And let's answer your question. Killride82. Let's ask Shrimpy Mo.
That's the prison tag cost us $50, dude.
Killride82 is new to the chat of Goat, easy there. Is new to the chat of GoatVsFish, and they're like, WillyTown Fest, who's going to be there? Who can we watch at WillyTown Fest? Everybody.
Who can't you watch at WillyTown Fest? It's going to be all the greatest, coolest streamers you watch are all going to be here. And we're going to be partying so hard for like 5 straight days. And if you got a ticket, you'll be right here with us.
This is how we used to do our old.
If you wish, if you are close enough, you can come. To Troy, Ohio,
Make it a little more symmetrical.
Exclamation point, WillyTown to find out more. You should totally come to WillyTown. It's September 9th through 12th, and your favorite GoatVsFish is going to be there as well. So many Twitch streamers, so much musication, so much celebration.
September.
The verses has come. Are you goat or fish?
Goat.
Celebration for goat! It's the Chaunch Goat, it's Chaunch Goat! Celebration for goat! Why do you choose goat?
I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to figure out this.
Because goats are cooler.
Because goats are cooler! Goats are cooler! We celebrate you and your decision. This decision of goat will reverberate from now until 1 billion years from now, when everyone has heard the name of the mighty Chauncho Goat and how it's totally helped out at WillyTown Fest. Celebration for goat.
See how one of them's cranked up high?
Yes.
All right. Now look at this.
Celebration for goat.
I can tell I already have those 2 clamped.
What do you say to the fish?
And then look, I'm spinning this.
Fuck you.
Wow, a powerful classic versus a fuck you fish, a fuck you fish. The fish is flabbergasted. The fish is flabbergasted. The old fuck you fish.
Man, it's been a minute since I've seen a fuck you fish.
Fuck you fish. It happens from verses to verses,
It
but
does happen from verses to verses.
Chauncho the goat, Chaunch Goat says fuck you fish. Fish is like, but I thought it was going to be more nuanced verses than a fish is. Fish can barely even.
Fucking a fish.
Fuck it a fish, fuck it a fish, fuck it a fish, fuck it a fish.
I got you now.
If you thought goat, if you thought it was a kind goat, think again. It says fuck fish.
Goat food.
Eating the goat food.
Goat food.
Right?
Makes it moist for Chauncho the goat, Congratulations on your first verses. Only 9,000 more, and then 1 million after that, and then
They're making a IRL marble race inside.
While you're making
That I understand, yeah.
So I'm not
marbles on streams. How about marbles on WillyTown Fest? So they're making like a marbling place where you can roll. You can say let's roll, and they
Marble races, and we're setting up a courtroom for glow stick courts. We can find ourselves some of these issues.
some of these issues, and the number of issues seems to just keep expanding every verses.
Oh, it always will. I mean, every day there's new expansions, right?
Every verses.
Every versus. There's always something new.
Live actual marble streams, all the musications that you can verses, some flowing poetry, definitely some GoatVsFish, and definitely some epic bass solos, and definitely some. If you like this, if that's totally what you're all about, then definitely follow Glowstick Willy. And if you can make it to Troy, Ohio, please come to WillyTown. Go to WillyTownFest.com, WillyTownFest.com.
I got that.
And you could be here. You could meet GoatVsFish. You rated GoatVsFish next versus. Suddenly you're there with GoatVsFish. Suddenly you're there with Misled Buddha. Suddenly you're there with Shrimpy Mo.
And Chancho Goat.
And Chancho the Goat. You could meet the totally famous Chancho Goat.
Chancho Goat.
Are you a fish in chat? Are you like, wow, Chancho the Goat said fuck you to me. I really want to say fuck you back to that goat. Come to WillyTown Fest and say fuck you to Chancho the Goat.
Fish can't give the horn.
The fish can't give the horns. Listen, if you did not think you wanted to come to WillyTown Fest, just think of how you could say fuck you to Chancho the Goat and be like, I'm a fish. Fuck you, goat. It would be worth it. It would be worth every bit you spend.
Bring a Lumix for Ralph.
And you could do IRL marble racing. Killeride82 says, yup, David Cosgrove with goat. And now, we enjoy a versus.
Definitely the good tripod.
Simple
But we
verses.
went under
A simple
11.
versus.
But a simple man.
Made it super solid. So
One of them,
Simple
I
goat.
think, I wonder if maybe he's gonna shake more up here than on this deck.
that's why I think I'm gonna bring the big tripods and use them up here on the actual stage.
This one needs
But high.
And I brought all my sandbags, I got my.
I got
Okay,
that.
Eric, we're hanging the amps from the truss.
Fly rams.
Fly 'em.
Flying the guitar amps, that'd be so
That would be sick.
Might as well light them up.
Mine has a light, so.
Oh. He's like, fuck Jay. I'll translate that. It's the one.
You hitting that 30 Mbps? No, the fish. We've got Mystic, O'Hare, Lowell. Calicott says, I'm not hearing this. You are. Wow, Mom says unification. What? Mystical Hair says, what? David Cosgrove says, who's winning the beard versus? Who's winning the beard versus? Let's find out. Definitely no fences. Calicott, WillyTown. Higher level, high goat versus fish.
I heard somebody ask about DK earlier.
We were curious about if Daniel
he-
Decay the goat.
Yes, he still plans on being here.
True versus?
True versus.
Celebration. Daniel Decay, the shredding goat, the epic Exeter shredding
Apparently
goat.
Jim just talked to him earlier, so I think they were having a different conversation underneath the
We see versus beneath
you know,
versus.
complicated verses.
Complication.
Too many things happening.
Daniel Decay, Liz Vega. Roxy Gun Project.
Dylan Cottle.
Dylan Cottle, music. Matt Suarez.
Oh, okay, so that was.
And it's a
Waters.
controller, the app
Waters.
is just for the viewfinder. I called him here, we got business.
How do you create it?
Williams?
Thank you.
Always think goat versus fish.
57 goat and fish. How many fence?
If you're a fence sitter, make some noise in the chat if you're a fence sitter.
Fucking finally, Jesus.
Untempered tuna fish with fish. Tugger Rugger says, so Decay is a maybe. According to Buddha the Goat, it sounds like Decay is a true versus.
Yeah, pretty sure Decay's true verses.
DK's not. Decay's not maybe. He talked to James earlier and said, dude, I'm fucking stoked. I'm ready. So, you know.
Yeah, I
D-
got his
true.
flight time, I got his
Yeah, we got flight times and everything. We're DK's true verses.
Got his amp. We're-
Glowstick Willy, goat versus fish, and also Daniel Decay.
Yeah.
Live on the streams of Glowstick Willy, and also with a bit of goat versus fish too.
Yeah, I think Tugger, I think there's just confusion because there's like 4 different conversations going on, and Goat vs. Fish said something about Decay, and then somebody said, no, I don't think so, and it was really because they're trying to build this verses, and then you got the fence over here blocking the verses, and there's just a lot of stuff going on, Tug.
There's a lot happen. A lot has happened here. A lot has happened here. Yoki Zen, you know goat versus fish. You sound a lot like Rolf from Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Oh, Rolf? I get down with Rolf.
Zeffy Seth says, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Calicott says, so many verses, and what is this? Who is that Zeppelin Man? Zeppelin Man says hello.
What's up, Zep? He's my biggest fan. It's one of them,
It is true. We saw that when that false versus, when you slammed that false versus,
yeah.
that Zeffy Zeff first versus, not Zeffy Zeff, Zeppelin man was like, you do that, Buddha, yes.
Yeah. Kick his ass. See, Buddha.
The excellent says, you guys seem made for each other. Wow. Goat versus fish. It hides from goat versus fish. It does not wish to be seen. But goat versus fish is a powerful versus.
Bill, look, dude, this is a rail, and you can slide all the way across. I think you should.
Tour de France, chèvre contre poisson. Chèvre contre poisson. Chèvre contre poisson. Head on down to WillyTown. Okay. We had a mighty poll. The goat did triumph. The goat did triumph. Make some noise for the goat. Make some noise for the goat.
That's really good. Remember, I got Wi-Fi.
Ready when you are, Bill.
Who did the donut?
Who were strapped down, so I didn't feel like getting it out.
I don't blame you. I had one around here somewhere.
No, I didn't know that he was.
Who did the donut? Jay. Who did the donut joke? Who did the donut joke? Jay.
Mitch Heffron.
I've never heard the donut.
Mitch Heffron.
I smelled it, I was under the thing, I was like, oh, hurry up, hurry up.
Can I say the donut? And they asked if I wanted a receipt.
Yeah, what is
I give me a receipt.
Have you christened the stage with the ode to goat versus fish?
That's it.
Yeah, now.
Goes off that couple minutes. That's basically the donut.
We will definitely get all of WillyTown singing goat versus fish, goat versus fish. They will all-
Crowd participation?
Well, we say you, and now we sing in celebration of goat versus fish. You may rise if you wish.
The thought of just hearing a mass of people sing that at the same time is
Oh, it shall happen.
it's amusing.
Goat versus fish has had like 3 minutes comedy set, 3 minutes open microphone, and we have gone from them not ever hearing the verses goat versus fish to singing all together goat versus fish within 3 minuets. And here at WillyTown Fest, they know all about goat versus fish, so you're going to hear a lot of singing about goat versus fish. Be sure to check the levels.
Eric, you hear that? I'm always trying.
Fever Dog 1 says, is that Moon Man? Yes, it's Celebrity Moon Man, live at WillyTown Fest, Celebrity Moon Man. Wow, thank you so much for being here. Wow. Oh, it's so hard to, everyone's demanding to see Glass Moon Man.
Nah. Hi. What?
Fever Dogs 1, now is your chance to say something really, whatever you ever wanted to say to Glass Moon Man. Now is your chance, Fever Dog 1. Now is the verses.
Waves, nerves, eyes, the hair. Yeah, I do keep my hair hidden.
Ooh. Imagine if it's like, oh, we're just blowing some glass and, what's that? Whoa, it smells like roast goat. It burns! Ah!
Oh wait, that wasn't my end, was it? This was my end. No? That was
Skippy Ello says, how is there daylight? We have the sun in Australia. Can we borrow it? We are in a place called Ohio. It is called Versmerica, Ohio. It is called Troy, Versmerica, Ohio. Where did everyone get these cool tie-dye shirts? We got them from a place called Drip Tides. Goat versus fish we got our verses from Drip Tides. Whirly Ed, you make some great pieces, Glass Moon Man. Whirly Ed with the complimentation. They are having a conversation. Goat versus fish is not going to interrupt on their conversation.
Not even making it out.
Wasted Heights is massive storm passing over me now. The skies are angry. The skies must be fish. And upset at having been told, fucks you. It might happen when Goat versus Fish was at Hookahville. We definitely saw some angry sky of the Sea of the Fish. Let's sky check. Sky check. Sky check.
Oh my god, that is so gross.
There you go.
Banana peel. Oh, classic.
There you go, boys.
I need to go Australia and do some crazy shit.
They're wild out there. And like,
Are you goat or fish? Conversation, celebration, that's the verses. Goat and fish speaking to one another. That's what we like here on Goat vs. Fish. That's what we like here on Goat vs. Fish. Cover out, Tuggerugger with the goat. Whirly Ed with Glowstick Willy. You know it. Whirl. Ooh, we keep calling you Whirly Ed, but it looks like you are Whirledly. It's hard for Goat vs. Fish to pronounce anything that's not goat or fish, so please forgive Goat vs. Fish. Whirly Ed, do you wish to change your verses to Whirl Edly, or do you wish Goat vs. Fish to keep calling you Whirly Ed? Some feel sort of a little fascination with the names that Goat vs. Fish says, so perhaps you want Goat vs. Fish to keep calling you Whirly Ed. It's up to you.
During the day, like, if I'm not playing with Doug,
Fever Dog 1 says, I can sleep in the Goatmobile. Tungusi says, Whirly Bird. Ah, please, Whirly Goat, Whirly Fish. Tungusi says, I've had piffy time celebration with my wonderfulest pipe. Is that Moonsman pipe? Look at all these Moonman fans in chat. Celebration, Tungus G. Tungus G.
Soaking wet.
Yeah.
I got waterproof shoes now. Stoked.
Tungus G says, I've had piffy time celebration with my wonderfulest glass Moonman pipe.
I'm gonna
we put stairs up there.
raid
You have to walk to the
Goat
front.
vs. Fish stream. Can't leave them on the Goat vs. Fish stream. Hello.
You're here. You are here. Radiation. Lysurgical, you may be on the stream as much as you wish. We are all here together. Please. Do not even hesitation.
I'm gonna bring my draw harp and do a draw harp jam.
Please do. That would be epic verses.
I gotta find it somewhere.
We're on the jar harp now. That's the judge. That is judge. It's the judge. It's the judge. It's the judge. It's Ralph the Fish and Buddha the Goat having a little verses. We've got Buddha Goat. We've got Buddha Goat, Ralph Fish having a little tug of verse. Ooh. Goat leaves fish dragging.
There'll be risers here too. Half as tall.
It's all in a verse. It's all in the verses of Goat versus Fish.
I'm gonna talk to Ralph about that. I'm thinking these will go to extend to 10 feet.
Do that, it'll take up the entire.
These are my new hiking boots and work boots.
These will
I'm
go
not
to 10
necessarily
feet.
worried about that.
can
Like I
actually
said, we
put
put
them on the
stairs
ground,
here.
too. Yeah.
Like, what, there's amps in the front? It's not like I need to get back there. Really. You know what I mean? Like, that could be all the drum storage and all shit, you know?
That switch would help maybe go the other direction.
But, let's just build them and either leave them on top.
Are you feeling cranky? Choose Goat or Fish.
I know we're gonna use two, and then we'll get the rest of the bullshit off. That way we can move the wheel cart, or we can be done with these legs. But
Moonman's house is only 20 minuets away from Willystown. Nice. Like worldly. Worldly, but whatever. It's like cool that Goat versus Fish says it that way. Okay, Whirly Ed.
would be the best.
Tuggerugger says, come along.
Would be
Come along. Come along to Willystown. Come along to Willystown. Goat versus Fish. Chancho Goat. Chancho Goat. Where are the libations? Where's libations?
So that's probably the best option.
You don't know. Okay. Well, we are seeking libations to drink. We want to drink of the cool mountain of the cool mountain of goat.
Mountain of the dew. The dew of the mountain.
No, we are speaking of the Coors Mountain. Coors Mountain goat.
I don't know.
Perhaps in Glowstick Willy. Perhaps we can find it in Glowstick Willy. I can sleep in the Goatmobile and give Moon a ride each day to the campground. Fever Dog 1. Fever Dog 1, are you attempting to proposition Glass Moon Man? Fever Dog 1 is like trying to sleep in your car or something.
No. No. No, nobody's allowed sleeping in my van but me.
You heard it. You heard it. Although we heard that for a versus your van was haunted by Goat versus Fish.
Oh, yes, yes. Friday night. Friday night going into Saturday, all I heard was goat versus fish, goat versus fish, all night long. I had to hit the bag a few times. Got to do what you got to do.
You can just hear Glass Moon Man hitting the bag, and it's like,
Pretty much, yeah. That was it.
Get back!
get back, no, get back. Get back to where you once belonged. Goatfish was a goat that thought it was a goat, but it was another fish.
Here you go ahead and throw that stuff over there on that riser.
What's the T for?
Wow, it's like the Glass Moon Man stream. Tweety42 is like, hey, it's Glass Moon Man. Let us see. Where's Glass Moon Man? Where are the goats? Where the Coors Mountain Goat? Drink Coors Mountain Goat. Ah, celebration. We have found Coors Mountain Goat drink Festiverses celebration.
I feel like I didn't need it. I feel like we need
If you guys want this cold, there's a full of ice over there in my van.
It's totally empty. Wow, it's a fenced versus.
I have water in my van and a cooler.
Goat versus. We will take a sea of the fish. We'll take a sea of the fish. It's already is no more. Or maybe they're chillaxing down there. Look at the mighty Choncho goat, flipping over things like flips. Bombar 78. Amo la cabra, cabra contra peces, peces contra cabra, cabra contra pez, pez contra cabra. Thank you, all of you raiders who are staying here with Goat vs. Fish, just enjoying a leisurely versus. Please follow Goat vs. Fish. Please subscribe to Goat vs. Fish if you wish. You can join the Patreon of Goat vs. Fish. You can follow Goat vs. Fish on all social media at Goat vs. Fish. Please consider to follow Goat vs. Fish. Please consider to follow Goat vs. Fish. Instagram, Twitterver, Book of Faces. Please follow Goat vs. Fish. Who's gonna play Goat and the Blowfish? Well, Glowstick Willie is going to play, and Roxy Gun Project is going to play, and Daniel Decay is going to play. You can find them all on Twitch. You can find them all on Twitch. But we would love it if Goat and the Blowfish played. We would love it if Goat and the Blowfish played. We would love it if Goat and the Blowfish played.
We'll take this off.
The Sea of the Fish! The cold Sea of the Fish. The cool Sea of the Fish. Goat versus Fish does not typically prefer to consume from a verse such as this, but this verse is it will have to do.
Oh, you're not streaming anymore, right?
Goat versus Fish. Oh, it's still verses.
Okay. We just wanted to do something for the stream.
Something for the stream.
All right. Here we go. All right. I don't know.
Okay. So, Fish in chat if you think it's a true versus. Goat if you think it's just fencing with you. Goat versus Fish for the win. Yaks chillin', Tugger-Rugger celebration. Bottle pressing versus. Here comes Goat versus Fish. Let's slam this versus. Are you ready to slam the versus? You ready for slam verse? Goat versus Fish, taking all the fish, taking all the sea of the fish. Taking all the sea of the fish in one verse. Taking all the sea of the fish in one verse. Pure life begins now. Pure life begins now. Goat versus Fish begins now. Are you goat or fish? Slam verse. We're just building up. We're just building up a little bit of Goat versus Fish style anticipation for the slam verse. Just a bit of anticipation. A bit of anticipation. You are a very dainty drinker. We drink all kinds of ways.
Yes.
Slam verse, slam verse, slam verse, slam verse, slam verse, slam verse. Slam verse. Let's get a poll in chat. Let's get a poll going in chat. Let's get a poll going in chat. Let's get a poll going in chat.
I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun. See, I want to see how it goes over.
Who drinks more, goat or fish? Who drinks more, goat or fish? Who drinks more, goat or fish? In the chat.
Every time it's like the rest of the band. Oh, I don't know how this is gonna go over. It's gonna go the hell of a roll. Great. It'll be nice to see, like, if I get a good video. I have so many videographers here and so many cameras. For me to like get a video of that forever performance with a crowd full of people getting down. You guys just killing it. Being heard 5 miles away.
Celebration! Now that's a true verse. Yes, Chillin says goats. Who drinks more, goat or fish? The poll is live. And who is this? Who is this? It says. Do you have fish? Is that someone with fish in their name? What is it saying here to goat versus fish? Fish. We see fish. We see you're calling yourself fish. You who just said fish, can you type your name out in chat? Twitch is using some verses that it is difficult to see, but if you could just typing your name out in chat so we can know how to call you, and we will celebrate. Metal. Who drinks more? We've got goat, fish, we've got fence it, and we've got unify. The poll is live. Fish with 4, fish with 4. If you do not see the poll, if you don't see the poll, refresh twitch.tv/goat-versus-fish. If you do not see the poll, refresh twitch.tv/goat-versus-fish. If you do not see the poll, refresh twitch.tv/goat-versus-fish. ZeffiSef says, has a wonderful verses. Have a wonderful versus ZeffiSef. Thank you for joining Goat vs. Fish. The poll is live. Refresh twitch.tv/goat-versus-fish if you do not see it. Puff or not, the poll is live. We have Zeppelin Man and we have... it is so we just can't read it. Bye. We do mean you. You say I am Karma. Bye. We shall see you. Thank you for checking out Goat vs. Fish. Remember, are you goat or are you fish? Sorry we can't read your name. Twitch is being fence. Are you goat or fish? Bye. Fever Dog 1, Goat vs. Fish should have socialized healthcare. We want all goat and fish to be healthy goat and fish. Let's provide healthiness for goat and fish. If a goat or fish is hurt, let's help the goat and fish so they can versus again. It's like, oh, the goat was sick. Oh no, I twisted my hoof. Oh, I need hospitalization. And then hospitalization is like, well, if you want to receive hospitalization for your twisted hoof, you're going to have to get over several fences. And it's like, but I twisted my hoof. How do you expect me to get over the fence if I twisted my hoof? And they're like, well, what do you expect to get hospitalization for no verses? What do you think we're just going to have make you a feeling better goat? No, we didn't come all this way with technological and we haven't developed all of this crazy fence-nology just so we can give it to you to actually help you if you need it. Laughs the fence sitter. We're not going to help you unless you give us verses in return. Because otherwise we're enabling you to be like not have to versus the fish hard. If we just help the goat, it won't versus the fish hard. And the goat is like, but I twisted my hoof. How am I supposed to versus the fish if I twisted my hoof? And they're like, well, you're just going to have to rough it, goat. Sorry, goat, if you can't pace the verses. Fancy fence. Tugger-rugger with 5 bits. Cryptid51 says, that's not a fair versus. Goat versus fish. Consents to that sentimentation. We have Zeppelin Man with sea fish swim in water. I don't know if they still drink it, just swimming in it. This is a fair question. 5 bits from Tugger-rugger. Puffernaut says, Verse America Scam Country. I'd like to speak to the manager. Paging the management of Fence America, please come to the verses. We've got a Puffernaut, who's a mod in the chat of Goat vs. Fish, who wishes to speak to the manager of Fence America, please. Nice crickets. Yes, let's have a listen to find out if they're saying I'm goat or I'm fish. But the poll. Before we listen to the fence sitters cricketing about, we've got fish with more drinking with 10. We've got goat with 1 vote. No fence sitter, 1 unification. Fish with 12 votes and 13 votes for fish. Someone is really wanting to make sure that you know that the fish drinks more. That the fish drinks more. Jax Chillin spent 350 versus celebration for fish. Nice versus fish. You drink more. The fish drinks more. The fish drinks more. Goat with 1 vote. So cricket. Let's listen to the crickets. Let's hear if they're talking about goat or fish. Let's see if the crickets choose goat or fish. Fever Dog with a mix of bits, with a mix of 5 bits, just like reaching into its verses, being like, I think I've got some bits somewhere in here. Well, let's see. We have a Unicron snows. We have a Unicron snow goat, and we've got a thumbs up. Maybe it's a fish, and we've got someone who's like, ah. And then we've got like a little. We've got a bit of clover, and we've got some salt of the fish. And here, please take these 5 bits. It's my last 5 bits. They're all just like a random verse assortment of goat and fish. Fish breathes water. Is that drinking? That was a question for the poll, Puffernaut, but the poll has ended and fish has already triumphed. Only if they swallow this Yaxchilin. Okay, let's listen. Let's listen. Suddenly. 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 What kinds of tree is that? Is it goat? Are you goat or fish? The chat wants to know if you're goat or fish. The chat wants to know desperately if you're goat or fish. So who is this one that says, what's going on here? Closer you look. What is going on? You don't even know the fence of it. You don't even know the fence of what's going on. But you are about to learn. You have entered a beautiful verses. And that verses is goat versus fish. Here we have a unification of goat and fish, and here we have goat versus fish. Here we have goat versus fish. Welcome to Goat versus Fish! You've made it to Twitch! Finally on Twitch you found Goat versus Fish. At long last you found Goat versus Fish. You've been waiting forever to find Goat versus Fish. And here's Goat versus Fish. Stepping over the fence with ease, it's Goat versus Fish. The fence has nothing on Goat versus Fish. So closer you look. What do you think about Goat versus Fish? Popronaut has asked you a question. Jax Chillin is so glad you found Goat versus Fish. Ooh, fun time versus. Wait. Critical versus.
Critical versus?
Critical versus.
Okay. How critical?
It's Goat versus Fish.
The computer.
You forgot the socks? I thought I had some, I don't. You don't forgot the socks, the most crucial part.
I know. I need that.
Disneyland Pimp says, imagine a versus.
We're unpacking the verses.
Imagine a versus where you've spent the last 20,000 years creating epic musications.
That's the
And now you're about to create a musical festiverse called WillyTown Fest that you should go to.
Pretty fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Should one person wheel it down?
I would set one of the ground and all that.
Thursday. Well, I mean, this is a lot of weight. You know.
I mean, I'm a lot of fucking.
Where's the dolly at?
Up and down.
It doesn't
Eric's
go down.
Oh.
If it tips, it could pull you over the ramp with it.
We are making preparation for WillyTown Fest. We're making preparation for WillyTown Fest. The goat and fish will gather here. Disneyland Pimp, let's sing a song. Imagine Goat versus Fish is streaming and look at all the goat and fish. This one goes out to Disneyland Pimp. It's a land of goat and a sea of fish. It's a sea of fish and a land of goat. It's a land of goat and a sea of fish. It's a sea of fish and a land of goat. There's no need for pretense. Do not sit on the fence. This is goat versus fish. Goat versus fish.
Alright, no problem. Thanks, dude.
Here you can see Shrimpy Mo sitting on the fence. It's the flying Paschetti monster. It's the flying spaghetti monstrosity. Help. Wow, look at all the effects. Look at all the light. Come to the light. Come to the light. Let's not forget the fence sitters too. They will also assembly. We think that the fence sitters will probably just be hanging out at the edge of the verses.
Just the test.
Goes, 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 goes. No hesitation. Let's verse. Celebration, celebration.
Take it all, Eric. We got this everyone off. This stuff stays.
Celebration. Some worship flying spaghettish monstrosity as a deity. What is the flying spaghettish monstrosity, a goat or a fish? Pastafarians are Pastafarians, goat or fish? Let's not forget the fence sitters too. Yes, yes,
You
yes.
went over 50 miles an hour.
Yax chillin' says, I like all the men. Well, some are goat and some are fish. Some are goat and some are fish. Let's have a look at the goat and fish again. There they are. Just making a verses, making WillyTown Fest. And then there's goat versus fish, and then there's goat versus fish. And then there's goat versus fish. And then there's goat versus fish.
Yeah, well, a big one goes down, actually, straight to the light.
Oh, so similar to those ones rented for the so I don't have to move the box.
This one's not bad, Eric.
Yeah, but it'll have to be close to
Yeah, we can put it together.
Head on downs to WillyTown. Well, goat and fish, we think that's going to be the verses for now. We think that's going to be the verses for now. You can come in and check on goat versus fish at a future verses. You should follow Goat vs. Fish on all social media at Goat vs. Fish. We thank you all for joining Goat vs. Fish. We thank you all for joining Goat vs. Fish. There is much to be done. There is much to be done. As you can see, they're building WillyTown. Come check out WillyTown. Follow Glowstick Willy. Follow Glowstick Willy, Liz Vega, Daniel Decay, Matt Suarez Music, Roxy Gun Project. All your favorite Twitch streamers will be performing here to hundreds of goat and fish, hundreds of thousands of goat and fish. All enjoying a celebration. No buts about it. No buts about it. No buts about it. And this fence also. Thank you for the verses, says proper or not. Okay, see you all next time. See you all next time. Ooh, look, more verses. More verses. And even more verses. And even more verses. Let's step inside just for a brief verse.
Not much left to go.
And they gather here and they say, okay, now this one. You see, it takes a lot of hard verses to bring you WillyTown Fest.
Days of sweat. Determination, cat.
Alright. Are these the,
This is the LED wall, and two of them. And then those, I think, go in the building. The Uncle Joseph light show.
Nephew Uncle Joe will be here. Uncle Joe, the Uncle Joe show. There's
like our stand case for our mic stands.
It's pretty sweet, man.
Tungus G says,
You're
get
gonna
off the
grab the
fence
dolly.
and help out Goat vs. Fish. We are helping by promoting WillyTown Fest.
Yeah, bring the dolly. It's
it's pretty
fucking heavy.
heavy. Okay.
And it's awkward as shit because there's just a little. Yeah.
What kind of crates? Versus? Definitely versus. Who knows? There could be hundreds of goat or fish just waiting to come out.
Not bad. It's just awkward to carry.
Think they could spend all these versus preparation WillyTown Fest, but if Goat vs. Fish weren't here to promote WillyTown Fest, then what?
Uh-oh.
Exclamation point, WillyTown. Exclamation point, WillyTown. Exclamation point, GSW. Follow Glowstick Willy. Watch the verses of WillyTown Fest, September 9th through 12th. And also, if you are near Troy, Ohio, or even if you're not, head on down to WillyTown. There's still verses. You can still come here to celebrate with all the goat and fish. There it is in chat. There it is in chat.
Let me ask. Let me make sure this LED wall's gonna be here.
Okay.
Who knows what's within? Who knows what's within? Who knows what's within? It's fenced. Help out Goat vs. Fish. Help out Goat vs. Fish. Okay, we'll help out. We'll help out. Hey, you big cock. Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish? Tungus G says Glowstick Willy is the hardest working band. Maybe Goat vs. Fish will just keep streaming. Maybe we'll just keep streaming and hope that more of you raid Goat vs. Fish, and then we'll just keep promoting WillyTown Fest forever. It's a valid verses. Forever.
How long?
Forever?
What
They
movie
were-
is that from, Lysergic?
I don't know.
Wow!
I really don't.
That hurts.
You heard
Give me a hint.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Give me a... Is that the hint?
That is the hint.
Oh, that's fucking Sandlot then. I haven't seen that since I was a little kid.
All right.
I know that came
Got
from
it.
Sandlot.
You just witnessed a goat versing a fish. Who did triumph? Goat in chat for goat, fish in chat for fish. Buddha the goat versus Judge Lysergical Fish. You are a fish, these verses, yes?
Yeah, still
Yes,
a fish.
still fish, still fish.
I tried to be a goat one day, but it just didn't feel right.
Never will.
Puffer not forgot about the Sandlot. Expropis Vocabulus says, what's up, Lysergic?
Oh, what's up, dude? Are you coming? Is he coming to WillyTown?
A fair question. Expropis Vocabulus, are you going to head on down to WillyTown
I
Fest?
think he said he couldn't. I remember talking on the after parties.
Wow.
We're gonna have real life after parties here, man.
Real life after parties. And nephew Uncle Joe. The Uncle Joe show will be here. Matt Suarez music will be here. Liz Vega will be here. Roxy Gun Project will be here. Goat vs. Fish will be here. Glass Moon Man will be here. Judge Lysergic will be here. Shrimpy Mo will be here. Ooh, Expropis Vocabulary says, I'll see you Friday early evening.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Celebration!
You'll have to camp with us because you're part of the after party.
Celebration, Expropis Vocabulary, celebration! Going to come to WillyTown Fest, Disneyland Pimp. Wait, how is it still daytime there? Ask the verses, ask the verses. Ask the verses. Yes, we're going to stay here and just keep promotion WillyTown Fest. That's what we're here to do. We're here to promotion WillyTown Fest. So we will be here, Goat and Fish. We've decided the stream will stay live. The streams will stay live, and we will just keep promotion WillyTown Fest forever. We will keep promotion WillyTown Fest forever.
Well, I have the cleanest, dirtiest car in the state. It's filthy, but there ain't nothing in there but the rent. Ain't nothing going on in that car. but the rent.
We still have plenty of power of Goat versus Fish.
I don't know. Since I worked at Normal, I don't know.
Plenty of power of Goat versus Fish. Yak's chillin'. Oh, it's mountains time, I think. Tell us in chat, what do you look forward to most in WillyTown? You have heard of Goat vs. Fish, you've heard of the streams of Glow Stick Willy, the musications, you have heard of live marble races, you've heard of the Nephew Uncle Joe tent, you've heard of all kinds of verses. Who do you wish to see? Who are you going to, you are like, wow, I want to go to WillyTown Fest because, and then you say why, and then you say if it's goat or fish. Jack's chillin'. Oh well, I'm drunk. Thanks for trying to explain it to me. That is also a valid WillyTown type verses.
It is very valid.
So many cables. Wasted Height says, I look forward to the Goat vs. Fish World's title being defended. Oh wait, that isn't happening this year. Yeah, of course it's happening. Goat vs. Fish is always defense, but not like we're part of a fence. It's like we're defensing it. It's like it's fancy and then we defense it. And then it's all verses. Defensification. Yak's chillin'. I want to go to Willy Fest for Goat vs. Fish. All the rest is Goat and Fish bonuses. A fair versus. We give you lots of bonus Goat and Fish. Drew John says semi-stranded? What kind of fenciness is this? Drew John, oh my verses. The stream is still called semi-stranded? That's an ancient verses now, Drew John. That's an ancient verses. That's an ancient verses. They've been unstranded, just hasn't changed the fence. We thought we changed that verses. We thought we changed that verses. But Goat vs. Fish, we could always end the stream and start it again. So we would lose a few zombification viewers. Oh well. We could always start the verses again. Who's up in this joint? Who's up in this joint? Who's up in this joint? Fever Dog 1. Exprobus Vocabulus. I'm looking forward to celebrating with all the Goat and Fish and even fence sitters. I'm sure it will be monumentation. It will. There's much celebration to be done. Drew John is like. Tongus G says, thank Goat vs. Fish. Excuse Goat vs. Fish. It says, thanks God, but we don't know if God is goat or fish. There's no bird versus bear. That guy was an ass on the fence. A fair versus. Get lit, light it up. Goat vs. Fish is going to change, Goat vs. Fish is going to change the title of the verses, which means that the stream will end. The stream will end just soon. The stream will return just soon. So please stay in the chat. Drew John, can you make a poll while Goat vs. Fish goes unlive and then starts again? You can make a poll even if Goat vs. Fish is not live. We can ask, what are you looking forward to most at the WillyTown Fest? And you can have goat, and you can have fish, and you can even have Goat vs. Fish, or you could even vote fence, we suppose. Goat vs. Fish. I choose Goat vs. Fish. Just a bit of Sea of the Fish tickling Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish will return to continue the promotion of WillyTown Fest. Goat vs. Fish.